It's one of the top non-district battles in Texas, as tonight we welcome you into Leopard Field in Lorena, south of Waco, for Week 6 of the 2025 Texas high school football season, as the 2-2 Lorena Leopards take on the visiting unbeaten Badgers of Lampasas. Whether you're watching us on TexanLive.com or live for free on YouTube, welcome into the Dave Campbell's Rising Game of the Week broadcast booth. I'm Gavin Moritz. And joining me to my left, as always, here's a guy from the DCTX staff named Carter Yates, along with GP, our Director of Recruiting, that's Greg Powers. Carter, we'll start with you. Both teams still in non-district, right? A rare sight for some, maybe at the midway point of the season here entering Week 6, but both teams looking for a very strong win to add to their resume going into Week 7.
And Lampasas is looking to stay undefeated. Their 5-0 start gave head coach Troy Rogers the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Midseason Coach of the Year award because they lost 31 seniors from last year's team. They had 3 returning starters on both sides of the ball. Most of those guys are playing different positions, so he has done a hell of a coaching job this fall. But then Lorena on the other end, 2-2, don't think that this is an average ball club. They've played a gauntlet in non-district with Austin Regents, a private school team in the state championship every year, it seems like. Lost 55-48, Won against Malakoff, 38-35, then lost to Franklin, 33-49. So putting up some big numbers on the offensive end. I'm really excited for this matchup.
And then Powers, both teams here in Class 4A, right? One Division I and 4A, one Division II. But both programs with some very fun players on either side of the football.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One guy I'm going to be keeping a close eye on, that's Jackson Blanchett, the quarterback for Lorena. And, of course, Sloan Blackwell. I had a lot of fun covering his brother Jackson Blackwell before he went off to play at Baylor here for the Leopards as well. So there's another in line in that Blackwell family, 6'3", 6'4", about 210, 215 pounds. So he'll quickly pass the eyeball test out there when you see him line up. He'll be wearing number 11.
I really like what I see from Jackson Blanchett. He has 1,338 passing yards this year, 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He was actually the wide receiver 1 last year as a sophomore, but then with 3 games into the season, he moved to quarterback and earned District Offensive Newcomer of the Year. He's been even better this fall as a junior. He's also athletic enough with that wide receiver background to turn the ball and tuck it and run it. So really another former wide receiver, now quarterback on the other side with Lampasas, it's quarterback Bryson Roberts. He was the outside wide receiver for the previous 2 seasons, but this year a 66% completion percentage with 11 touchdowns and 4 picks. He also has 213 rushing yards, so he can go too if the play breaks down. I feel like these quarterbacks are very similar with their wide receiver backgrounds, showing the athleticism at quarterback.
Bryson Roberts really jumped out to me on tape, and one of the things that I liked about him is what he brings to the table off the field. A 5.6 GPA, so he's a very intelligent mind underneath center as well.
And now we'll go down to the field here in Lorena, south of Waco, for our national anthem, the DCTX Week 6 Rising Game of the Week, upcoming after this.
Thank you. And remain standing if able as we honor America with the playing of the national anthem by the Lorena High School Band.
And Carter, Greg Powers, as we welcome you back in here for the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. Kickoff incoming shortly. I want to get one thing out of the way, guys. We have done some games this year. We've done some 6A, some big 6A games, right? Done even some 5A games. The 5A game of the week last week, that was the top game in the state of Texas. This game, guys, it's Class 4A, so people may think, oh, maybe, it's small school football. This one has a big-time feel to it, though.
They say small school football produces some of the big-time atmospheres, and you could say that about Lorena. I love the view we have here out at the stadium. This is a Friday Night Lights type of feel. And also, I know it's the second day of October, but tonight is hotter than any day we had in September, so that is something to keep an eye on, how these players deal with the heat.
That's a good call out, Carter, because that's something that I'm very interested to see as this game unwinds itself. Just looking at the two teams on the eyeball test as we were watching them warm up before the game, they look very even. I think Lampasas might hold an edge for having the bigger and more physical offensive line, but maybe Lorena can counter that with a little bit more athleticism.
And that's interesting you say how Lampasas looks like they have the edge on the offensive line, because they have 3 sophomores on that offensive line, 0 returning starters. Again, speaks to the job that Troy Rogers has done as head coach, getting these young guys ready to produce on the varsity stage.
And, guys, we talk about Troy Rogers, the head coach of the Lampasas Badgers. Carter, you alluded to it. He's our DCTX here at Dave Campbell's, of course, our midseason coach of the year in Class 4A.
Yeah, he's just done an amazing job. Again, they lost 31 seniors from last year's team, did not return many starters, but the motto the team came up with this offseason was bond, for beat the odds and never doubt. There was a lot of doubt outside the locker room walls on how good Lampasas could be. They lost a star wide receiver. They lost a lot of seniors this offseason, but the team read this book called The Energy Bus, which I love, by the way, by John Gordon. And the Leadership Council read this spring and decided they're going to bring a positive energy to the team this year. And that showed last week when they were down 14-0. Nobody flinched, nobody pointed fingers, and they came back and preserved the undefeated mark.
I love what you said about they had a star player. He moved to California, right? He has a bunch of offers, and he was the guy that I think that you could build a team around, but the team didn't break apart. They bonded. They became closer together, and it seems like they're attacking this season a little bit angrier. Carter, we went down and watched them play against Waco University last year, and it wasn't a game that went in Lampasas' favor. And to see them kind of rebound from what I would say by their standards was a disappointing 2024 season to be 5-0 right now is a huge turnaround.
Here is Lorena will be kicking it away from left to right, center hash at the 40-yard line to get us started. Lorena in the white lids, black jerseys, white pants. Lampasas, clad white, blue numbers. The Badgers 5-0 entering Week 6, set to receive Lorena, trying to defend their home turf here to open up Week 6 on a Thursday night. We'll kick it away, and the DCTX Rising Game of the Week is underway with a short kick, fielded inside the 40-yard line. And Lampasas falls forward across the 40-yard line to the 43, and the Badgers will set up shop there as that brings out the Lampasas offense, Carter.
We'll get our first look at quarterback Bryson Roberts. Once again, was a wide receiver for the past 2 years, but he is their most dynamic athlete. They put him back at quarterback, and he has answered the bell. 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, also with 213 rushing yards. Every snap, Coach Rogers said, is a good snap because he's just getting more experience.
After the community coffee kickoff and the subsequent return brought him to the 43-yard line, Roberts and KJ Reed, the running back, take over there from that point. First play from scrimmage, handoff to KJ Reed, who's going to crease. How about KJ Reed on the first play from scrimmage? Goodbye! Touchdown, Lampasas!
Out of the gates, extremely strong first offensive play of the game. Takes it to the house, and he gutted the Lorena defense there. Just a hard physical run. He got through the hole, and it was nothing but daylight.
Well, Troy Rogers told us in the pre-production meeting that KJ Reed has been on varsity for 3 years, played a ton of good football for them. They know what they're getting, and it's explosion, and he explodes out of the gates to give Lampasas. You couldn't draw up a better start for the Badgers.
And so KJ Reed, the senior running back, on the first play from scrimmage, goes 57 yards. The extra point good at 7-0 Lampasas. 12 seconds into this ball game, the Badgers, a hot start and then some.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
And so, guys, we're back here on the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. We were just settling in, just talking about, both the teams' records coming in, maybe them getting a feel the start of the football game. What are we going to expect from Lampasas? What are we going to expect from the Lorena Leopards? KJ Reed gives us almost no time to even establish anything. 12 seconds in, he goes 57 yards for the score.
This Lorena defense will be a unit to watch because they are very young. They gave up 55 points in a loss to Austin Regents, 38 points, or 35 points rather, in a win against Malakoff, and 63 points in a loss to Franklin. So they are a little leaky through the beginning of this year, and they've relied on their offense to score almost every drive, and it puts a lot of pressure on this Leopards offense.
We don't get to say their names a whole lot. Let's go ahead and shout out big number 54, Max Osborne, on that block right there to seal his running back all the way to the end zone. It was a tremendous movement up front, but he just completely shielded his defender from making a play.
And as the sophomore running back and linebacker for Lorena, Hunter Black made it up across the 20-yard line near the 24. That is where the Leopards will set up shop. And if you're Lorena head coach Kevin Johnson, who took over after the state championship run from Ray Biles a couple years back, who was there for 31 seasons here in Lorena, if you're Kevin Johnson, you're probably not thinking, hey, 15 seconds in, we're going to get the ball back down 7, but here the Leopards find themselves right in that position. As here comes Jackson Blanchett, the quarterback. Blanchett evading pressure. He has time. He fires. It's high. It's juggled, and it's incomplete. Off the hand it goes of his intended target, falling down to the turf. It looked like that was Zachary Espinoza, the junior.
But there's athleticism from the quarterback. You see former wide receiver moving around well in that pocket. He's about 6'4", 6'5". He's a specimen back there in the pocket.
I think he's taller than all of his offensive linemen.
Clock stopped with 11:38 to play in the first. Second down and 10, Lorena from the 24 in their own territory. Stretch it near side. Good run for the Leopards up to the 30-yard line. Make it down just across the 30. That is Brody DeLeon, the senior tailback, who is about a yard, we'll call it 3 or 4 shy of the line to gain. It'll bring up third down, and they call it about 4 here.
Carter, I think this is a big third down play because your defense probably is back on its heels a little bit after getting gashed on the first play. You don't want to go 3 and out and give the ball right back.
They definitely need to make some more defensive adjustments on the sideline, so they need a longer drive here.
A minute gone by opening quarter. They motion DeLeon out into the flat near side. Blanchett evades pressure again. He's ever so shifty back in the pocket. Now he runs, and he's got a first down to the 38-yard line. Jackson Blanchett, fresh set of downs picked up for the Leopards.
Well, number 31 from Lampasas came scot-free off the right edge, but Blanchett so calm in the pocket, showing a lot of poise for a guy who really wasn't even playing this position until last year. Very impressed with him through the first 2 dropbacks. Even though one was a little overthrown on the first throw, he showed great pocket mobility.
Down to 10:35, clock running here in the first after the scramble from Jackson Blanchett. He's got a first down, as do the Leopards to their own 38-yard line. Handoff Brody DeLeon. Brody DeLeon across midfield. First down Lorena on back-to-back plays. And this time the senior DeLeon takes them down to the 46 of the Badgers.
Guys, I'm starting to get a little bit excited. We're seeing some inside runs here, power football, and nothing makes my blood pump hotter than watching some of these halfback dives.
Oh, yeah, this is good old-fashioned football here on a Friday night. And DeLeon has been a star for this Lorena team. 732 yards on 10.6 yard per carry this year.
They motion DeLeon, bit of a power option here. Pitch out to DeLeon from Blanchett. DeLeon hits the sideline, and he's out of bounds somewhere near the 41-yard line. A gain of about 5.
Smooth and methodical there on the pitch. He kind of pulled it down at the last second and got it to his running back. It was a great decision by Blanchett to get that ball out, and they were able to get a nice chunk of yardage on first down.
And so the Leopards there go with a bit of a power option. Like we said, they run it off right tackle. They pitch it out to DeLeon at the last second from Jackson Blanchett. And now they have themselves set up nicely here with a second down and 5. Man in motion is Espinoza. Blanchett Hit as he throws, pass caught over the middle, and walking into the end zone is Espinoza for the Lorena touchdown. 41 yards.
Man, Blanchett is a smooth operator out there.
Yeah, that was a dart. And talking to Troy Rogers, the Lampasas coach, before this game, he said Lorena likes to run a lot of the same plays, but they have the window dressing with the motion. So that's a pretty basic route concept there for the touchdown, but it works to perfection because they have Espinoza going in motion pre-snap, and that throws off the entire defensive communication.
Zachary Espinoza over the middle, got just a step or two on the defender right between the hashes, and hitting him in stride was Jackson Blanchett, and Espinoza did the rest. Extra point is good. We're all tied up at 7 apiece. Here are the 9:51 to play, opening quarter.
Somebody do it like me.
We're back here in the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. It is 7-7, 14 combined points between Lorena and Lampasas through less than 3 or 4 minutes here of ball play. This kick will be fielded back inside the 30-yard line with a fair catch by the Badgers. And guys, we've seen 2 drives. Lampasas, of course, has only run 1 play, but it was a 57-yard touchdown from Reed, and then Lorena answers right back about 5 or 6 plays later from Blanchett to Espinoza.
We are 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this game, and both teams have already got a haymaker in. This should be a fun one tonight.
I'm starting to notice a trend here, guys. I shouldn't say it, but we've been potentially, could this be our 3rd banger in a row?
Let's hope that the first 2 minutes live up to the rest of the game.
Of course, we've had a couple great ones the last 2 weeks. Rockwall and North Crowley. Last week, Iowa Colony and Richmond Randall. This one, Lorena and Lampasas. Tied at 7 with 9:50 to play in the first. Here from Leopard Field, it's another good run for Lampasas. How about 2 plays for the Badgers, and how about 2 touchdowns? This time, it's Wesley Stevens, the senior.
It's not thunder and lightning, it's lightning and lightning for this Lampasas team. First it was KJ Reed, and now it's Wesley Stevens. 2 different guys back there, but the same result, a first play touchdown.
The drive started at the 27-yard line. Wesley Stevens goes 73 to the crib, and it's 13-7 Lampasas PAT to come.
They pulled Osborne on that play. Second time we're saying his name, and he went right behind him. He really didn't have to block anybody because the Red Seas parted right there, and Steven was able to gash the defense.
And so Lampasas, the Badgers so far, have run exactly 2 offensive plays, and they've got 2 touchdowns to show for it from 2 different running backs. KJ Reed, Wesley Stephens, both go to the crib from over 50 yards out, 57 then 73. And Carter, it's 14-7 Badgers with 9:39 to go here in the opener.
Put your offense for Lorena in a tough spot where they know they have to play a perfect football game to stay in this one. Right now for Lorena's defense, they need to find answers on that sideline because it's 2 of the same plays, just a running back going through the B gap of the defense with a pulling guard that they're not seeing well out there on the defensive side.
And so now on the other side, kind of like Carter said, if you're Lorena, your defense has only been out there for 2 plays, but your offense, they have to go back out there about 2 minutes after they just scored a touchdown on what was about a 6 or 7 play drive.
I think it's really important though to stay within your scheme, right? You got to depend on your defense that they're going to play better throughout the course of the game. You can't get panicked and go away from what your offensive game plan was going to be if you're Lorena, because their offensive game plan worked.
Here with 9:39 to play in the first, Lampasas will kick it right back to the Leopards. After Wesley Stevens, the senior running back, another big, long touchdown run for the Badgers. First it was Reed, then it was Stevens. And Lorena will try to answer. Here is Zimri Vergara kicking it away for Lampasas. Kickoff fielded just across the goal line by Lorena. Lorena looking for a good return. They've got one down the far sideline. Cutting it back and down to the 49-yard line. Go the Leopards on the return, courtesy that time of Brock DeLeon, the sophomore.
So there's two DeLeon brothers out there, and both of them are already making big-time plays.
That is correct here for Lorena. They'll start a yard shy of midfield as they look to answer, and they'll only have to go 51 yards to the end zone in theory. And so 9:29 to go opening quarter. Here comes the Leopard offense starting 1st and 10 from their own 49. After we saw the last drive end from Blancett to his intended target right over the middle. That was Zachary Espinoza who did the rest. Tumbling into the end zone for the first score of the night here for the Leopards. First play of the new drive. Handoff, Brody DeLeon. And Brody makes his way down to the opposing 49, a gain of 2.
Tough sledding out there on that run. He did pick up a couple of yards, but good team effort from the Lampasas defense to collapse on that ball carry, make sure that he comes down on first contact.
And notice how much pre-snap motion Lorena's using. I saw Sloan Blackwell go from the backfield up to a three-point stance, and then number 14, Brock DeLeon, was also going in motion at wide receiver.
Pistol set here on 2nd down and 8 from the Badger 49 for Lorena. Handoff, Brody DeLeon reversing field. Brody DeLeon with a burst of speed, cutting it back down to the 32.
Now that wasn't a called counterplay, Carter, I don't believe, but he made it a counterplay and it worked out. Whenever he cut back to the left, there was nobody there in containment.
Well, Coach Kevin Johnson said his biggest trait is his tremendous vision. He reminds him a lot of Braylon Henry, a former star running back from the class of 2024, and he worked hard to pick up his speed this offseason, showing a burst right there on the left side. I love the vision, though, because you're right, Powers. That was not a designed counterplay.
After the good run on perhaps not a designed counterplay from DeLeon, he turns it into one anyways. Lorena, 1st and 10 from the Lampasas 31. Keeper for Blancett. To the far side off the read option. He pulled it, and he got a good gain of about 7. Some extracurricular activity down low at the bottom of your screen, but out of bounds to the 23-yard line or so. With a sizable gain goes Jackson Blancett.
All right, I'm counting pancakes now. That's one pancake for Sloan Blackwell, number 11 out there at tight end.
Give this man some syrup.
Sloan Blackwell, of course, one of the more highly touted recruits in this ballgame, if not the highest touted recruit in this ballgame, Powers, and he's already making an impact. Lorena here, 2nd down and 2 from the 23. Play fake, taking a shot, going for the end zone. Jump ball is incomplete, right near the pylon. He was trying to connect, was Blancett with the receiver. Looked like Carson Miller, the senior.
And it was a pretty good touch throw right there. Hit off his receiver's hands, but I think that was coming back no matter what. I did see the referee throw his hat down on the ground, which usually means the wide receiver ran out of bounds, and then he was the first to contact the ball coming back in.
And Carter, that's a play on 2nd down and 2. You can afford to take a shot now because of the incompletion. It's 3rd and 2, but manageable. They run it here up the middle, spin cycle down inside the 20 to the 16. Brody DeLeon picks up a 1st down for Lorena.
Been very impressed with Brody DeLeon and this offensive line for Lorena thus far. They call them the worker bees up front. It's center Landon Manus, who's done a heck of a job this year leading the charge. And then junior tackle Brock Maggard and senior tackle Trigger Nehmeyer. They are the bookends.
7:45 to play in the first. 1st and 10, Lorena from the 16 in the red zone. Handoff, Brody DeLeon. Brought down from behind, and there he goes, down to the 12. A pickup of 4.
And this offense is just clicking, and it's not obviously it's not as explosive as what Lampasas has done, 2 plays, 2 touchdowns, but they've yet to been stopped for a loss or stopped for no gain. They're picking up good chunks of yardage on each and every play.
Clock will run down to 7:20 to play here in the opening night of Week 6 in the 2025 Texas high school football season. First quarter here from Leopard Field. And Lorena trying to get into the end zone and tie us up perhaps at 14 apiece. Handoff, DeLeon. Stutter step now, stiff arm. Brody DeLeon cut down for a loss all the way back to the 12-yard line. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. I think he may have even lost a yard there.
That was a tremendous open field tackle from Tate Langford. He is one of the guys who was a returning starter but playing a different position. He was a monster rover linebacker last year, now playing more in the box, but showing that tackling ability like a former outside linebacker.
3rd and 7 from the 13. Blancett fires far side. Wide open is Brody DeLeon, who does a flip into the end zone. Touchdown, Lorena.
DeLeon's pretty athletic, Carter. I mean, he shows toughness in the middle of the field there and then shows off the hands on a touchdown catch. I'm really impressed what I see out of this Lorena offense early on. It's a well-oiled machine.
Shows off the hands and shows off the gymnastics with the little somersault into the end zone. That was smooth.
Little Cam Scattaboo there.
6:31 to go in the first. Lorena knocking on the door with a PAT here about to be upcoming to tie us up at 14. Nearly blocked. The extra point is up, and it's through. 14-14, Lorena. Bit of a methodical drive. They start at their own 49. They go right down the field. Longer drive so far for the Leopards than Lampasas. Of course, the Badgers, Carter, have only run 2 plays. Lorena's run at least a dozen, maybe 15, but the same result.
Yeah, same result, just different ways to get there. Normally, we'd say that Lorena's offense is scoring quickly and firing on all cylinders, and yes, they are, but compared to Lampasas, who's got 2 plays and 2 touchdowns, it's hard to be more efficient than that.
This sets up an interesting dynamic to me because Lampasas has scored 2 touchdowns very quickly. Now their defense has been out on the field. It's a hot night. Does this have a factor in how this game plays out? Because one thing that I noticed that Lorena does is they use a lot of motion, they use a lot of different sets, and that can be confusing for a defense, but it's even more so confusing if you're tired.
Yeah, you almost got to wonder if the Lampasas offense is scoring too quickly.
And guys, Brody DeLeon has been kind of a weapon so far in the backfield for Lorena in this offense for the Leopards, to say the least so far this season. He came in with 11 catches, 208 through the air and 2 touchdowns. He just added his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season. But rushing coming in, 69 carries, 732 yards, 10 scores.
Pretty impressive stat line through 4 games.
Kick here from Lorena is on the way back to the Badgers. Fielded at the 31 by Lampasas. Cut down to the 35. The drive will start there for Lampasas. The Badgers, guys, we keep saying it, they've only run 2 plays. Both have been long touchdown runs. They haven't exactly had the chance to, I guess we'll say, establish the run. That usually takes a couple plays, right? But they've broken off 2 long touchdown runs. I'm curious to see at what point they start to throw the football with their star quarterback Bryson Roberts, but they haven't had to so far.
Right now, they don't have to.
All right, anybody want to make a small friendly wager that Lorena picks up its first defensive tackle on the next play?
There's no way this can be a touchdown, too. No way they can go 3 for 3.
They'll start in the backfield with KJ Reed, the senior, who did make it for a touchdown. He scored from 57 yards out on the first play from scrimmage tonight here for the Badgers. Man in motion. Hands it off to Reed. KJ Reed up to the 39-yard line, a gain of 4. And Lorena gets their first tackle made of the night on the defensive front. Lampasas their 3rd play of the night. This one doesn't go for a long touchdown, but still a good gain.
Yeah, Kason Conlon, the tight end linebacker sophomore, in on that stop. Now we're starting to make this more even. Lorena's got 1 tackle to Lampasas' 2 touchdowns. Start to see those numbers flip here.
Lampasas here, 2nd down and 6 from the 39-yard line. Handoff, Reed. Back to the line of scrimmage, not much else. Maybe gained a couple of feet, but it'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 here as Reed was corralled to the near side.
Big number 58 swallowed him up quickly.
James Frosch. His name might be Frosch, but he's a senior.
They got some guys on this defensive front, and Blackwell and Bottoms both have 3 sacks coming into this game, so they know how to get behind the line of scrimmage and make plays.
5:20 to play in the first. 3rd down and 6 for Lampasas from their own 39-yard line. In motion was McElwain. Fired far side, McElwain nearly dropped it. He makes the catch, and he's going to lose yardage back to the 36-yard line. A loss of 3, Lorena all over the screen pass.
Yeah, and the double catch forced him to turn back and kind of slowed that play up. Connor Johnson, number 3, the sophomore, tremendous job reading that play and attacking. What a stop for Lorena's defense. I know it was tough sledding early with those 2 early touchdowns, but, defensive coordinator there, Paul DeLeon, did a great job getting his boys adjusted on the sideline.
I'm starting to get my eyes on a new favorite player out there for the Lorena defense. Number 7, Adrian Medina, playing with the neck roll, knee brace, looks like a thumper. He's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch tonight, I think.
On the return, Brock DeLeon. He's cut down with a flag at the tail end of the play to the 39-yard line. For the moment, it's a return of less than 10. We'll see what we got here as Lorena may get backed up a little bit. Carter, what did you see there at the end of the return from DeLeon?
I didn't see it because I was looking at my notes for Adrian Medina, actually, the Mike linebacker who came into tonight averaging 7.8 tackles per game. So they actually moved him up his freshman year. He played cornerback back then, but then had a knee injury to where he missed all of last season. And Coach Kevin Johnson says every play for him is 100 miles per hour, whether right or wrong. So you got to love a linebacker with a neck roll playing 100 miles per hour at all times. He's playing with the effort of a guy who knows the next play isn't promised, really, after missing all of last season.
And so the tackle made by Lampasas on the return. The penalty actually went against the Badgers. And as a result, Lorena going to start here 1st and 10.
It's going to be something that we monitor.
And Blackwell is a big-time recruit because he's awesome at football, but also because his brother was awesome at football. Jackson Blackwell, who's now playing at Baylor, he was a stud for this Lorena team.
I'm going to try not to call him Jackson throughout the course of the game. It sometimes gets hard as you go through the recruiting process and cover multiple people from the same family. UTSA has already extended Blackwell a scholarship offer as well as Syracuse.
4:25 to play, opening quarter. Blancett taking his shot far side. He's got a man open. It is caught. No, incomplete to the far side. Getting hurried out of bounds inside the 5, the intended target, and the pass falls incomplete.
And these guys are coming up wide open over there on the top side of the field, and I think that they've discovered a weakness that they're going to try to exploit throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, that throw was just a little bit towards the sideline too much, but mark my words, they're going to connect on one here coming up because Carson Miller is scorching some defensive backs tonight.
4:20 here in the first quarter. Handoff, DeLeon. DeLeon powers his way down to the 23-yard line. That's a gain of about 7 or 8 to bring up now, they say, 3rd down and 2 after the good run for the senior tailback for the Leopards.
3rd and short here, you have your whole playbook to call on, right? You can call any of those plays because this is a situation you're probably going to go for it on 4th down, so you can empty the playbook out and call your best play.
And Blackwell's back in at tight end, Powers. Number 11 at the bottom of your screen.
3:45 to play, opening quarter. Handoff. DeLeon trying to get out of the couple tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a good 2 or 3 yards. Back just across the 24. Call it a loss of 1 to bring up 4th down.
That was your guy Langford. Langford Carter. He's played right outside linebacker, inside linebacker, and left outside linebacker so far in the early going.
And behind the line linebacker, too, because he's been living in the backfield.
Now it's 4th down and 3 here from the 24 for Lorena. They're going to go for it, and I don't see why not. Perhaps too far for a field goal. They stretch it to Brody DeLeon. Trying to turn the corner. He's brought down on 4th down. Turnover on downs forced by the Badger defense.
It's an interesting game. I didn't think we'd be able to see a lick of defense, but all of a sudden both of these defensive coordinators have turned up the heat, and you're starting to see a lot of big plays. I couldn't tell if that was the turf monster that got him, but it might have been number 9 reaching his hand up to trip him up.
That was all Corbin Kepler. And Coach Rogers had talked about a lot of guys playing their first varsity snaps, playing really well. There's a lot of times he goes out there and says, man, who is that? And that's when you saw Corbin Kepler there with 7 tackles for loss and 3 sacks. He was hurt a lot of last year, but he's made a huge impact this year.
Kepler making his presence felt so far tonight through about 8 or 9 minutes or so of the first quarter. Exactly 3:04 to play here in the first. Lampasas starts at their own 28 on 1st and 10. They run it, and not much to be found there on the first carry of the new drive, going to Wesley Stevens, who had the long touchdown run earlier.
Gage McCabe on the tackle in the backfield. This Lorena defense starting to stand tall now. This is where we're probably going to have to see Lampasas put the ball in the air. They haven't had to just yet, but after a 3-and-out last series, 2nd and long, now let's see what Bryson Roberts can do through the air.
Pistol set for Roberts and Stevens. Now Stevens motioned out wide. Bryson Roberts catches the snap, dumps it off immediately, pass is dropped. Incomplete to bring up 3rd down and a long 10.
That's 2 bobbled passes now from Lampasas. I know that one by McElwain was caught, but he kind of double caught it and threw off the timing of the wide receiver screen. Now that one was dropped. So just something to monitor for Lampasas. Start seeing the ball, looking it in before you start running.
I don't know if that wasn't a great drop right there. I think he was going to get dropped behind the line of scrimmage. You could hear the footsteps coming behind him.
The ball in and out of the hands of the junior tight end, Cahill Isom on 2nd and 10. Now it's 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Roberts heaving it downfield. Man's got a step. He's got him in stride. Off to the races. Sean Roberts in for the touchdown on 3rd and 10. And he goes 72 yards.
What a dime by Bryson Roberts to the other Roberts. It's the Roberts family coming up huge. The wide receiver, senior, number 4, runs a beautiful post pattern, looks that ball in.
That was a great throw and catch right there. We were questioning a little bit before that play about the wide receivers hanging onto the rock. He had no problem reeling that one in, and then he dashed to the end zone, creating separation along the way.
And with a flag down on the PAT for the moment, it's up and through. 21-14, Lampasas. And guys, the Badgers there, they faced a 3rd and 10. It was back at their own 28-yard line. You're kind of thinking, all right, here you got to pick up the 1st down, keep the drive moving. And the Roberts family, Sean and Bryson, they said, no, we're not going to pick up the 1st down. We're going to pick up a touchdown. We're going to go 72 yards on the post route to Sean.
I think that's an important play because they've established the run. They're going to have to not be one-dimensional to win a track meet, right? They're going to be able to throw the rock. They're going to have to connect on some of these passes, and they did exactly that, and that's going to loosen things up even more so for the run game, a run game that's probably averaging about 50 yards a touch right now.
Yeah, it's complementary football with the run game and pass game because even on that touchdown pass, the safeties were creeping up, expecting a run because that's what they've been hit with all night, and that's how Roberts was able to take the top off the defense because they were lurking up going forward.
Here with 2:09 to play in the first, Lampasas. All 3 touchdowns so far in the night have come from quite the distance. And now Lorena's going to get the ball back. Like we said, they put together more, for this game's standards, more slow, kind of methodical drives. But like Carter said earlier, for most games' sake, the Lorena drives would be the quick ones.
I can't believe that we've already had 5 touchdowns and we're not even 2 minutes left in the first quarter. This game has been off the rails thus far.
Exactly what you want here in the Thursday night DCTX Rising Game of the Week. Still in the first quarter, 2:09 left in the opener, and it's 21-14 as the kick is on the way back to the Leopards. Fielded back at the 15-yard line, nearly hopping out of bounds, but staying in and brought down immediately on the return. What a tackle that was from Sean Smith.
And that was a big play right there because now the Lorena offense is going to have to go the length of this field. We saw what they can do on a short field, starting the 49-yard line and the 46-yard line. They were able to get some points on the board. Now we'll see if they can go the full distance here. It's going to be a long field.
Just over 2 minutes to play in the first. Leopards will start 1st and 10 from their own 17. As back out comes Jackson Blansett and the rest of the Leopard offense. In the backfield, offset to the right, Brody DeLeon. Blansett dumps it, that's caught. DeLeon to the far side, and he's thrown down to the 25-yard line. About 2 yards shy, the line to gain for a first. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2.
And that's what makes DeLeon such an elite running back because not only does he average 10 yards per carry, but he's just as effective in the passing game, so versatile back there. You got to love Lorena and Jackson Blansett having a weapon like that that's always a security blanket for you.
I'm tracking 31 like I do one of those gadget players on offense as they're moving him around the defensive scheme and seeing where he goes and seeing if they're going to go into the teeth of the defense or away from it.
2nd and 2 from their own 25 for Lorena. Blansett Fires middle. That pass caught. First down to the 40. Goes Sloan Blackwell.
That's a tough throw and catch right there. It's not easy to do across the middle of the field. Sloan Blackwell showing off his toughness and why he has P4 offers already at the early age of his career. He was in the DCTX Rising Top 25 Prospects last year, noted for his potential and upside.
He's the biggest guy on the field, and he's a sophomore.
After the pitch and catch from Blanchett to Blackwell, 1st and 10 from the 40, they hand it off to Brody DeLeon. DeLeon, instead of trying to cut it more to the outside, tries to run right through a defender, and he gains 6.
You don't want to run it out of bounds when you can run it through a defender's face, Gavin. I love how Brody DeLeon is finishing runs.
He made a nice little swift move as he was going around the edge there to evade it.
Well, we're back here at the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. 10:20 to play here in quarter number 2. And Lampasas guys on the move after a bit of some connection issues.
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Thank you so much for staying with us. We had a Lorena punt and then Lampasas, a big run by KJ Reed. Brought this down to about the 20-yard line. Now a flag here, so we'll check that out. But thank y'all for holding on strong on the YouTube comments for us.
We had connection issues, but the Lampasas offense seems to have zero connection issues as Bryson Roberts is moving this offense methodically down the field. And a couple of penalties here on Lorena. Looks like, this one might go against Lampasas as they're walking back.
Well, and the punt was forced because Jackson Blanchett tried to throw the ball and kind of lost possession of it as he was winding up. So then that created a whole fire drill where he was sprinting around in the backfield. About 10 Lampasas Badgers were swarming in on him. He got sacked. That resulted in a punt. Lampasas is now cooking up near the red zone.
Here with now down under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Lampasas are up 21-14, but facing a first down and 20 from the 33 of Lorena. Roberts far side, caught Roberts. Trying to turn it upfield, not really anywhere to go. Brought down quickly with Sean Roberts, who had the touchdown earlier, the very long touchdown earlier.
This Lorena defense at one point had 8 sophomores playing, so they have been beat up, injured, and are a little undersized. And defensive breakdowns were what caused them to lose games against Autzen, Regents, and Franklin, but they got to bow up here. A young group needs to grow up fast if they want to stay in this ball game, down 21-14.
And Lampasas playing behind the sticks here. Lorena doesn't want to give up the big play, right? They need to get them off of the field and keep this to a 7-point game.
They motion Reed, they dump it Reed. KJ Reed turning it upfield. He powers his way down to the 27-yard line for a gain of about 6 to bring up now 3rd down and 10+.
Huge 3rd down here. I don't know if this is within the Lampasas kicker's range, so it might be 4-down territory.
It creates an interesting situation on what kind of play you want to call here. They've been so strong in the run game. Is this the type of play that you see what you can get in the middle and try to set up a potential 4th and long, or do you try to carve out some yardage here? I'm trying to get as many as I can.
I agree with you, Powers. I'm just trying to get as many as I can to set up a 4th down and manageable.
Here on 3rd and 13 from the Lorena 27. Roberts rolling. Bryson Roberts. Long ball. Incomplete. He led him out of bounds, and perhaps wisely so. Sean Roberts had a little bit of separation, but the corner had him pushed out to the outside there.
I know he did not connect on that pass, but for a former wide receiver, Roberts has got a little bit of juice in his arm.
Oh, yeah, he's been spinning it out there tonight. That post ball for the touchdown to Roberts last drive was a thing of beauty. You can see why Troy Rogers, the head coach, said, look, I know you're a wide receiver for the last 2 years, but you can play some QB. And now he's going to stay on the field and trust his offense.
And now it's 4th down and 13. Lampasas staying on the field on 4th and long. Bryson Roberts, 4th and 13. Lofts it, jump ball, batted down, incomplete. And a turnover on downs forced by the Leopard defense.
Hudson Hill, the safety, the junior, knocked that down beautifully. Did not bite on McElwain's stop and start route. It was a little bit of a sluggo in the middle of the field. And number 4, Hill, just read it beautifully. Read it like what I say, Gavin. Read it like a Harry Potter book.
That is what you've said a couple times now, and we're starting to pick up on it. 8:18 to play first half. And it's going to be 1st and 10 here for Lorena from their own 27. A great stop forced by the defense of the Leopards, thanks in part due to the penalty that backed up to a 1st and 20 on a drive that looked so promising near the red zone.
We're usually into these games saying the offense is going to settle in here or the offense is going to start clicking, but the defenses are the units that are settling in as this game has went along.
Stepping up in the pocket, Blancett fires, caught. Blackwell with a quartet of Badgers around him makes it up across the 39-yard line to the 40 to pick up a first down, does Blackwell.
1, 2, 3, 4 Badgers it took to drag Sloan Blackwell to the ground.
I just can't even picture what this man will look like when he's a senior, because right now he's a sophomore and he's the biggest guy on the field. Those Blackwell kids are built different, Powers.
And Jackson was one of the strongest dudes I've ever watched. He was a beast in the weight room, and if Sloan has even a touch of that, he's going to be a freak show.
7:50 to play here in the first half. 1st and 10 from the 40. They hand it off to DeLeon. DeLeon cut down for a loss of a yard back to the 39-yard line.
So this is an important drive here for Lorena after punting last drive. Down by 7, 7:35 left in the second quarter. You will get the ball back to start the second half. So if you can get a touchdown here, then it'll be a tie game, and you could potentially go 2 for 1 depending on how long this drive takes. You can see they're not speeding it up at all.
Here with 7:15 to go. Clock is running in quarter number 2. And Lorena now facing a 2nd down and 11. Blancett pumps. Now he's stepping up in the pocket. He's going to tuck and run. Jackson Blancett spun down to the 42-yard line for a gain of 3 to bring up 3rd and 8.
He picks up some yardage there, but I know that he was wanting to hit one of his receivers. Blackwell was wide open, and he also had number 8 out here at the bottom of the screen. He had 2 options that really got wide open on that play.
Yeah, it's 2 leaders of the defense. Tate Langford, the senior, who is playing in the box at linebacker. And then Corbin Kepler, 7 tackles for loss and 3 sacks this season. He's probably got 8 tackles for loss on the season now after that one earlier.
3rd and 8 from the 42. Blancett has time, fires, middle, that's caught, and a dot thrown by Blancett for the first down on the connection.
I'm trying to see what number that was. Was that number 9?
That was 8, Miller.
Yeah, Carson Miller with a first down catch. Blancett fired it in there.
Well, I'm going to say my spiel about Miller again because I think we were frozen the last time. He's a team captain with 537 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns this year. Coach Kevin Johnson said he is so proud of his team captain because he started as a sophomore on defense, played a little receiver, then tore his ACL sophomore year, was never really healthy last year, but he's got his speed back and his swagger back.
Correction, that was Kyle Coates on the catch, 8 and 9. As they dump it out here, far side, does Blancett trying to turn the corner as a flag's down on the sideline. Some extra shoves there at the end between a couple of Leopards and Badgers. Down to 5:43 to play in the first half.
Yeah, we're going to have a hard time telling the difference between 8 and 9 with the color combination here on the Lorena jerseys, and that's all right. They're both good.
Yeah, nice job, Coach, but everything I said about Carson Miller sticks.
And so a lot to unpack here. Lorena tried to go far side, little swing pass. And the flags were thrown on the Lorena sideline. It looks like a couple extra shoves, maybe a late hit there at the end. Something extracurricular. And penalty will go against Lampasas.
Also, not to go back to the Miller-Coates thing too much, but 8 and 9 and both look so similar body type-wise.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And this is a penalty that you just can't have. Right on the Lorena sideline where all the opponents are and right in front of the referee.
Clock down to 5:43 here in the second. Blancett after the penalty. Jump ball! Juggled and incomplete in the end zone. Broken up all the way out wide by Edwin Gonzalez. What a rep for the junior.
Yeah, that was a tremendous play by Gonzalez. It looked like the wide receiver had the ball in his hands, and as they were coming down, he was able to dislodge it, and that was a huge play right there for the Lampasas defense.
That's why for young cornerbacks watching this right now, you continue fighting and play the ball through the ground because that was a catch, but Gonzalez kept fighting and ripped it out at the last moment.
Clock stopped with 5:38 to go in the quarter. 2nd and 10 from the Badgers, 16 for Lorena. Handoff DeLeon, couple blockers out in front. Brody DeLeon powers his way down to the 6-yard line. Right near the line to gain. They're going to give it to him. 1st and goal. Leopards upcoming.
I love watching Blackwell block on the perimeter. He also is tied for the team lead in sacks, too, so he comes in on the defensive side playing both ways. For a storied program like Lorena, that is nothing to scoff at.
I get inside the 10-yard line, and I start thinking QB run, but when you have a running back like DeLeon back there, it's hard not to give him the ball at least twice and see if he can punch it in.
They stretch it here to DeLeon, turning the corner. DeLeon plunges forward. Touchdown, Lorena. We're an extra point away from a 21-21 ball game.
And I love the play call there, giving DeLeon a little bit of space to cook, giving him on the inside handoff. He was able to get around the edge, found as always a smart running back. He plunged it in the end zone, and it looks like extra point pending. We're going to have a tie game with 5 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
You better get your popcorn ready at home. We're in for a barn burner.
And the extra point from Lorena is up, and it is through. 21-21 our score. With 5:05 to go in this first half. This one knotted up again after the touchdown run from Brody DeLeon.
Oil change time. Candace. Remember when your boyfriend said he knew a guy who didn't know what he was doing?
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed. For service you can see and experts you can trust.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like, fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
(21-21) our score after the touchdown run from Brody DeLeon from about 6 yards out. 5:05 to play in the first half. Lorena, short kick here, a bit of an onside kick, but Lampasas no trouble fielding it across the 40 to the 43.
I don't know why Lorena is doing these pooch kicks because they're not really like onside catching Lampasas off guard. They're pretty easy to catch, and then you're also giving Lampasas the ball at like the 45-yard line. And they're already a high-powered enough offense. You don't need to give them great field position.
And so powers there, it kind of serves as the same in terms of field position as an onside kick if you don't get it, but it's not really an onside kick. That's not the design of it. It doesn't look like.
Yeah, you just don't want them to get a huge return here, but I still think that you're giving them the ball on the 44. It's a decision that you're trying not to give up the big play, and you're trusting in your defense.
Now the Badgers start 1st and 10 from their own 44. Hand off to Stevens. And Stevens makes his way up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 4.
That was Parker Bottoms, number 5, a team captain with 25 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks on the year. He moved up late as a sophomore, played as a junior. He's a football-savvy guy. He's the one getting them lined up defensively, and he's not the most physically intimidating, Coach Johnson said, but he's got such a high IQ. He wins with his brain.
4:35 to play in the first half. 2nd down and 6 from the 48 for the Badgers. Handoff again to Stevens, bowling forward to the 46-yard line. He comes up right at the line to gain. They give him the first down for Lampasas.
Stevens with the ball, tackled by number 4, Hudsonville. First down, Lampasas.
Badgers move the sticks down to the Lorena 46-yard line. 4:15 clock running here in quarter 2. And now checking the play call at the line is Bryson Roberts, the senior signal caller. Roberts motions a man from right to left. Handoff Stevens. And he will cut down to the 40-yard line, a gain of about, we'll call it 5 yards here, maybe 6, to bring up second down.
Stevens looks like a big back, but he's a little bit of a change of pace because he has that burst.
Yeah, I love the 1-2 combination with Reed and Stevens.
Under 3.5 minutes now, second down and 4 from the Leopard 40. Badgers again here with Bryson Roberts checking the play call at the line of scrimmage. Second down, Roberts taking a shot near side. Roberts' pass is he reeled in inside the 10. What a throw and what a catch.
The evolution of being able to pass the rock within this offense changes everything. They're plenty diverse, hit on the deep passes, and they can run in the middle with a lot of power. This Lampasas offense is hitting on all cylinders, and it's easy to see now why they beat Wimberley and they're 5-0.
What a catch by the wide receiver, Jaden McElwain. He played a lot of defense last year, was the third receiver, but now he's assumed the starting wide receiver role for the departed Ty Johnson, who moved to California. McElwain is elusive and quick and showed tremendous hands there to catching traffic.
McElwain down to the 9, first and goal from that point for the Badgers. They motion a man, they go up the gut here, and this play's still not blown dead. Down near the 2.
Great second effort there by the running back. It looked like number 3 had him to the turf, but his knee didn't touch, so he was able to keep running. Sets them up with about 2.5 yards to go here to punch it in for a late second quarter TD.
2:05 now as we inch closer to the 2-minute warning.
That was Stevens on the run. The combo of Reed and Stevens ensures that neither of them gets tired. Both of them run angry, so they are just punishing this Lorena defense.
Takes us down to the 2-minute timeout. Exactly 2 minutes to play here in this first half. 21-21, but Lampasas knocking on the door at the 2-yard line of retaking the lead here at Lorena.
You'll never ever find somebody do it like me. Ow!
Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance, unwavering dedication to their And so following the 2-minute timeout here in the DCTX Rising Game of the Week, 21-21, 2 minutes to play first half. Lampasas at the 2-yard line with a second and goal. Roberts with Stevens to his left in the shotgun. Handoff. Wesley Stevens turning the corner. He walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Lampasas.
Woo, the turn and burn, Gavin. Wesley Stevens showing the wheels to get to the outer edge.
Second touchdown of the half for Stevens, and guess what? They got a great 1-2 combination in that Lampasas backfield.
And so Wesley Stevens does it again. He's been in the end zone a couple times tonight. 1:57 to play in the first half, and the Badgers retake the lead in what's been a very back-and-forth first half thus far. PAT from Lampasas up and through. 28-21 Badgers. Lorena to get the ball back with plenty of time here in the first half when we come back with all 3 timeouts remaining for both coaches.
I still remember Mom leaving work early to bring me to all my football games. Long before the Friday night lights, the road to the end zone starts right here. And behind every touchdown is a mom, making sure her players get there on time. At Garage Door Doctor, we've had Mom's backs for over 38 years. From simple repairs to upgrades, Garage Door Doctor keeps moms and players in the game.
When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more than the doctor.
Me again. Remember our last oil change.
And so we're back as that kickoff sailed through the end zone for a touchback. 1:57 to go here in this first half. And guys, Lorena's going to have plenty of time here to try to move down the field and get this thing tied up before we go to the break. And Carter, what did we say earlier about potentially going 2 for 1 here?
Yeah, 1:57 feels like an eternity to score with these high explosive offenses. So 28-21, Lorena's down. If they can get a touchdown here, they will get the ball back to start the second half. And that could be the momentum they need to help out this defense who's just young and struggling against Lampasas.
Lorena starts from the 25, rolling as Blancett. Pressure.
A huge wide open playbook right now to work with, and also limits your ability to make a mistake, because the worst thing you can do is give the ball back right now and get down by more than one score. So no mistakes here for Lorena, because they do get the ball after the half.
After the run from Blancett, now it's 2nd down and 3 from the 32. 2nd down. Blancett evades the rush. He's been so good at this in the first half. He throws it. It's caught for a 1st down. To the outside across midfield and cut down to the 45-yard line. 1st down, Zachary Espinoza.
That was dirty. Greg Powers by Blancett in the backfield. Woo, whoop.
I agree with you, man. He's a whole lot of fun to watch. He's a big dude. He's got some athleticism. He's a former wide receiver, but he's calm, cool, and collected as the QB.
He looked like a matador back there, waving the red flag over a bull.
Now 1st and 10 from the Lampasas 45-yard line. Blancett got stripped from behind. Ball is out, and Lorena falls on it back to their own 45, a loss of 10.
Woo, I talked about potentially making a mistake, but a heads-up play there by the offensive lineman to jump on that ball and make sure that they don't turn the ball over here right before half.
Well, Blancett, when he is scrambling, yes, he is dynamic, but he's also holding the ball pretty loose, usually with one hand, so hopefully that's a wake-up call for him to hold that with 2 hands, practice some more ball security, even as you're making those electric moves.
As here a timeout is called by Lorena after a nearly disastrous play. They lose 10, fortunate to keep the football. And it'll be 2nd down and 20 from their own 45 with 1:12 to go in the half. And so Carter here, you're set back, an additional 10 yards. Now you got to go 20 for a 1st down. But you have the resources here to do it. You have the guys to do it, and more importantly, you have the time and the 2 timeouts left to get this job done and try to tie us up going into the locker room here at home.
Definitely no panic from this Lorena sideline. They know they can score in a hurry, and they can score when it's even 2nd and 20. You'd much prefer this than having given Lampasas the ball there. So 2nd and 20, you'll live with it.
2nd and 20 from their own 45. Here's Jackson Blancett getting out of trouble again. Blancett heaves it downfield, incomplete. Off the hands it goes of Zachary Espinoza.
It was a great toss. It hit his guy right between the numbers. He had a little bit of zip on that ball, bounced away from him, but it was just ever so close to being a game-changing type of throw.
Blancett has been so impressive in the backfield, Greg Powers. Just the way he's so calm and collected, spins out of the pressure. It's like oftentimes he's not getting touched, even though there's multiple guys in the backfield around him.
That's not an easy throw to make as you're on the run trying to hit a guy in stride coming across the field. So that was a pretty impressive throw to me.
And now it's 3rd down and a country mile with 1:03 to play in the half. 3rd and 20 for the Leopards, 5 yards shy of midfield. Blancett. Far side man is wide open. And that's caught all the way down inside the 35.
Guess who?
DeLeon, what a catch, especially because there was a safety coming over the top, so he had to have some stones to catch that because he knew he was about to get hit.
Down to 50 seconds, Blancett clocks it.
And I think it's important to call out, there's 50 seconds now left to go in the 2nd quarter. Lorena does have 2 timeouts.
And they don't even burn one there. They decide to clock it and make it 2nd down and 10 from the 33. And Carter, I like the call there to not burn one of those 2 timeouts.
Same here, Gavin. You already showed you can convert a 3rd and 20. You can convert a 2nd and 10.
See if they can here as Blancett drops on 2nd down and the play's blown dead. Snap of the football. Timeout, Lampasas. And Powers, I know Jackson Blancett, a guy we talked about a little bit coming into the game. He was in the article you wrote about the prospects to watch in this DCTX Rising Game of the Week. Did you expect him to be able to move so well in the pocket? He's been exceptional.
Well, I knew he was a tremendous athlete, and he's been putting up some big numbers this year. What I was wanting to look at from Blanchett coming into this game is what type of thrower he was. Was he going to be able to be a guy that colleges at the next level would be hugely interested in? Would they recruit him to play the quarterback position, or would he be more of an athlete? I think the jury's still out on that because he's 6'4", about 210 pounds from the eyeball test way up here in the press box. But I think there's going to be plenty of in-state schools, especially at the FCS level, they're going to come after a guy like Blanchett.
49 seconds to play in the half. Lorena, after a spike into the turf from Blanchett and a timeout called by Lampasas. Now it's finally 2nd and 10 from the 33 of the Badgers. And this one blown dead at the snap again.
Well, I know we've dealt with some freezing issues on the broadcast. We're kind of frozen right here on 2nd and 10. Can't get this play off.
Looks like they're going to reset the play clock here. I didn't see any flags come out or anything like that. So maybe there's a clock issue.
Yeah, it looks like 51 seconds now on the clock. Hey, every second counts here.
So they reset the game clock to 51 seconds. Play clock still at 25. Of course, they've not started that yet. And now they do. 51 seconds to play in the first half. Lorena, 2nd and 10 from the 33. What are we doing?
Not playing football, Gavin. You wonder if this is going to throw off Lorena's offensive rhythm here and momentum. I don't really know what the discussion is, but you want this Lorena offense to stay calm and stay collected out there, not get distracted by the refs here and lose sight of the goal, which is to score and go 2 for 1 here, hopefully.
Now they reset the game clock to 49 seconds. It appears now we're ready to go.
Back to 49.
2nd and 10, ready to go. Blanchett coming out of the stoppage, goes for the end zone. Incomplete, a little bit too far on the far side. Trying to hit Carson Miller for the big-time play. Would have been a 33-yard touchdown. Instead, it's 3rd and 10.
And they're going to hit on that play at some point in this game. That's 3 or 4 times that wide receiver has become wide open, whether they were going in left to right or right to left. At the top of your screen right there, the receivers seem to be popping open and having to step on the defensive back. It's only a matter of time before they make somebody pay for that.
Just off his fingertips and into the trombones from the band.
Timeout Lampasas. They've got 1 remaining. So here we're going to have 44 seconds. Lampasas just called the timeout. Lorena's going to have a 3rd down and 10 from the Lampasas 33. And to me, guys, Powers, there's no doubt that this is 4-down territory, of course. Yeah, what do you do on 3rd down?
I pick up some yards. You know, you still got another timeout, I believe, in your bag here. You got two timeouts on the board. So I mean, you can really call any play you want. They've been coming so wide open in one-on-one situations. It's hard for me to justify throwing in the middle of the field, but they can certainly do so if they want.
So you're going to have 44 seconds here if you're Lorena. You don't have to get all 10, of course, in one play. Certainly they'd like to. But if you don't, you can call a timeout and get up to the line after the timeout and try to pick up what would then be 4th down if they don't get 10-plus here. 44 seconds on the clock here in the late stages of half number 1. And the Leopards at home trailing 28-21 to the visiting Badgers. Man in motion for Blanchett. Blanchett on 3rd and 10. He's got all day. Now he's flush. Blanchett fires, caught. 1st down into the red zone. And down to the 15 goes Blackwell.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Badgers to bring down Sloan Blackwell that time.
This is my new favorite game. Count all the Badgers hanging on Sloan Blackwell's back.
30 seconds, they go up tempo. First and 10 from the 15-yard line, and now they clock it with Jackson Blanchett.
I love how they're spiking the ball instead of calling timeouts because you want to save at least one timeout so you can get the field goal team on here just in case. Also, I know I sound like a broken record, but Blanchett running out of the pocket, I like how he gets out of the pocket but is always looking to pass, always squaring his shoulders down the field. His throw on the run capability is pretty special.
He's a guy that can move in the pocket. He can pick it up with his legs when he needs to, but he doesn't always look to run first, like Carter said. He's looking to go down the field and gain more yardage than he would, perhaps if he took off. After the spike, 2nd and 10 from the 15. Blanchett fires, incomplete at the goal line. Good defense there from Lampasas with 21 seconds to now bring up 3rd and 10.
That was Aaron Everts in tight coverage right there. That was the best defensive coverage, or at least the second best defensive coverage that they've had all night.
And Lampasas has bowed up a couple of times in the red zone. Remember, they stopped him on 4th down in the first quarter. They need to do that here again because Lorena has the 2-for-1 opportunity.
21 seconds, 3rd and 10 from the 15. Lorena trying to get in the end zone. Blanchett lofts it, end zone. Touchdown, Brody DeLeon.
There goes that man, DeLeon. This dude is a ball player. I want to see him hit the surf like Scattaboo now.
He's doing his best Scattaboo impression, the way he's running over people's faces, catching the ball out of the backfield. He's there. He's where? DeLeon is everywhere.
And Lorena now an extra point away from a 28-28 ball game in the waning 16 seconds of half number 1. As Brody DeLeon turned it up the sideline, was wide open as he caught it in the end zone on the receiving end from Jackson Blanchett. Meanwhile, the extra point, perfect.
Guess what, guys? There's still 16 seconds left. Plenty of time for Lampasas to score. They only need about 5 at times, it seems like.
It's like the Patrick Mahomes being too much time for Lampasas' offense.
Now, we were talking about the kicking a little bit earlier. Here is a situation where I might justify the squib kick.
Yes, because that would, one, force them not to have a big return, and it would also milk precious seconds off the clock.
Yep.
But on the flip side, if you're going to try to squib kick it, perhaps the last couple that we've seen, it can't be the same as those because then they start near the 45. You want one of those middle of the field squibs back inside probably the 30, right, where they're forced to return it, but they don't start right at almost midfield.
I'm trying to get the up man to return this, right? I want to run 4 or 5 seconds off the clock, but I'm playing plenty contain. I want him to funnel him into the middle of the field if my gunners can't get down quick enough to make a big tackle.
Again, there are 16 seconds left in the first half here. Lampasas, a lone timeout left. Over on the near sideline for head coach Troy Rogers. Meanwhile, Lorena for Kevin Johnson. He's got 2. Not that he really needs them here. But Lampasas awaiting the kick from the Leopards in a game that is now knotted up once again at 28-all.
You called it out, Gavin. They still have 2 timeouts. Just go back to that last drive, that prior drive. They didn't even need those 2 timeouts before they scored.
This one high end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for on a slide at the 37-yard line. They don't go very deep there, but I'd say the 37 is, of course, better than probably 40-plus. But they have 16 seconds to do the Badgers. They have 1 timeout, and guys, we've shown, and the Badgers have shown, they don't need but maybe 6 or 7 seconds to break one off.
I'm creeping my safeties up, making sure they don't bust off a run. I know they got a guy back. They're going to have a guy back deep right here to make sure that they can't score or try to track him down. Looks like that may be – is that Blackwell back there, Carter?
It's Blackwell on the bottom of your screen at the defensive end spot.
That's Blanchett back there.
Oh,
safety.
Blanchett back there playing some he's QB. He's also a DB.
1st and 10 from the 37, Lampasas. 16 seconds and 1 timeout. They swing it out. It's caught. Blockers out in front. And cut down to the 43 on the receiving end is Caden Van Pelt, the sophomore.
And Coach Rogers knows they can score. He uses his timeout. He's going to get another play in.
He will have 9 seconds to work with, but now out of timeouts are the Lampasas Badgers.
So this one needs to be a route near the sideline to try to get out of bounds and preserve some clock, and you have one more Hail Mary attempt.
I think they probably need about 15 yards here on this play to be able to get into the range where Roberts can gun one into the end zone, maybe 20.
Yeah, I'd like to see like a A little flag route concept maybe from your slot receiver running out towards the sideline to get out of bounds. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they cook up here.
I love a double pass or a good hook and ladder, though.
It'll be a 2nd down and 4. Not that matters a ton here from the 43-yard line. 9 seconds, no timeouts for Lampasas.
Lorena's got about 4 guys in prevent.
Bryson Roberts fires, intercepted by Lorena. And wisely, he goes down to the 41, and the Leopards will have a play here.
Oh, I don't know if he shouldn't have tried to run that. He looked like he had some blockers in space and could have tried to get a pick 6 there, but I agree with you, Gavin. You know, sometimes the defensive guys, they want to go for the touchdown. Instead, just get out of the half here. You got the win by getting an interception. Sometimes it's better to play it safe than sorry.
Give him a break, guys. That's a defensive lineman dropping back into coverage there, Parker Bottoms, the guy who leads the team in sacks, getting him an INT.
Yeah, the fact that Parker Bottoms was out in coverage like that, making an interception, is unbelievable. This kid's been all over the field tonight.
Lorena will have one play, 59 yards to the end zone. They start from the 41 with 3 seconds. As Blancett looks to the sideline on the final play of half number 1.
Let's see how far he can throw.
Man in motion, 3 seconds. Blancett has time, fires, it's caught. Hitting the sideline is Miller. Now he's going to pitch it back. Blancett on the receiving end, throws it back to Miller, and Miller will step out inside the 35 to bring the first half to a close.
What a play to symbolize the first half of action. There was plenty of action on that play, and we have a 28-28 ball game on the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. Lampasas versus Lorena.
I'm out of breath just watching this game. I can't imagine how these players are feeling. They're going up and down the field all night. We're locked in for a great second half coming up.
28-28, Lampasas and Lorena knotted up at the break. We're back in 28 minutes here in the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. We welcome you back in for the start in just a moment of half number 2 here in the DCTX Rising Game of the Week. Whether you're watching us on TexanLive.com or if you're watching us for free on YouTube, thank you for tuning in here between Lorena and Lampasas. I'm Gavin Moritz, and joining me to my left, Carter Yates, Greg Powers, to my right, Mallory Hartley. Carter, we'll start with you in the first half. Lampasas got off to that hot start. They ripped off 2 very quick one-play drive touchdown runs, both from sizable distance, and Lorena so far has been able to answer every punch.
Yeah, the action was so hot in the first half, it nearly fried our internet. Just thank you so much to the people in the YouTube live section for sticking with us. It should be an awesome second half. I've been so impressed with the quarterback play for both teams. Lampasas, Bryson Roberts has thrown some dimes out there. And then Jackson Blanchett running back around in the backfield, looking like a matador out there the way he's olaying some defensive ends and keeping his eyes downfield, throwing on the run. Super impressed.
And Powers on your end, some big-time guys in this game that have made some big-time plays, both the quarterbacks, namely, and a couple of running backs for Lampasas ripping off some big-time runs. Get to that in a second as Lorena's return takes them up to the 36-yard line. Leopards set up shop there in a game tied at 28. Powers?
I'm really impressed by the balance that both of these offenses have shown throughout the course of this game. Of course, Lampasas came out behind a strong run game, but showed that they can be diversified by getting the ball down the field. And right out of the gates, Lorena has a very balanced attack, mixing up the run and the pass. That's why both offenses are giving the defenses so much trouble.
So out will come the Leopard offense, starting 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. And here is Jackson Blanchett, the junior quarterback, who in the first half was elusive to say the least. They could not bring him down behind the line of scrimmage much at all. It's a run to start the second half for Lorena. Up to the 38-yard line. On the carry goes Brody DeLeon, the senior.
And we might have buried the lead talking about that first half because Brody DeLeon was the star of the show. He had 2 receiving touchdowns on wheel routes, showing he's just as dangerous through the air as he is on the ground. Averages 10 yards per carry, but also got sticky hands.
Yeah, we compared him to Cam Scattaboo because he did a flip into the end zone, but he's doing a little bit of Christian McCaffrey stuff, just like McCaffrey's doing for my fantasy team tonight.
Good thing I'm not playing you this week. 11:18 to go in the third quarter. 2nd down and 7 from the 37 for Lorena. Bad snap. Blanchett gets it away anyways. It's caught and wrapped up immediately. Nowhere to run for the Leopards. They wrap up Carson Miller immediately.
Timing was just a little bit off right there on that pass, a little bit as a bobble as he was trying to secure that catch, allowing the defense to readjust and make sure they put him down right where he was standing.
Aaron Everts, the senior corner, blew that play up, just going through the wide receiver blocker and wrapping up the wide receiver who caught the ball all in one motion. He single-handedly blew that play.
Now it's 3rd down and 9 from the 36 after a loss of a yard or 2. 3rd and 9, Blanchett has all day. Now he's going to heave it downfield. Man is incomplete. It's inside the 35. He was trying to connect, it looked like, with Zachary Espinoza, who's had a couple big-time catches in this one. That time he had a tiny bit of separation, but the pass falls to the turf.
Great effort by the Lampasas defense. That's a 3 and out. So we're seeing already a great adjustment made by the coaching staff here coming out of the break.
And terrific job by Lampasas' secondary. First, it was the tackle on the wide receiver screen, and then a coverage sack almost there. A coverage forced incompletion because Blanchett had time to bake a cake back there in the pocket and didn't know what he could do with all that time. He just had to kind of throw it away.
Badgers bring the rush on the punt. It's up and away anyways. Fair catch, 30-yard line. Out come the Badgers of Lampasas.
That was James McElwain on the catch there, number 11. That's a guy that I look to see get more involved in this Badgers offense. He looks the part, he has good size, and he has good speed. I expect him to get his hands on some footballs here in the second half.
McElwain did have a catch in traffic there towards the end of the second quarter, but yes, other than that, was a little quiet. I think he is their wide receiver 1 right now this year, so they're going to look to feed him early and often.
10:25 to go, third quarter, 1st and 10, Lampasas from their own 30. First play of the second half for the Badgers will net them about a yard or 2. On the carry was the man that got the night started with a big run, KJ Reed.
the cleanest run fit that I've seen all night right there by the Lorena defense. Every guy did his job. The linebacker was able to come down and fill the gap and make a sound tackle.
And the Lorena defense is young. At one point, they had 8 sophomores starting out there, which is pretty unheard of in Texas high school football, but they need to grow up fast against the Lampasas offense.
9:50 in the quarter. 2nd down and 9 for Lampasas. Handoff Reed again. KJ Reed will make his way to the 34, a gain of 3, and 3rd down and 6 upcoming for Lampasas.
I did not have this on my bingo card, fellas. I did not think that we were going to have a situation where we would have 2, 3 and outs to start this game. Now, it hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet, but it could potentially happen right here.
Well, it's a 3rd and about 6. Let's see if Lampasas tries to air this one out, maybe get McElwain involved. He's going to be the slot receiver on the top of your screen, number 11.
3rd and 6.
Now
they motion McElwain. Roberts will roll near side, looking for McElwain. He fires. He's got him. And that's a 1st down for the Badgers. McElwain leaping through the air to make the reception for the fresh set of downs.
Good call out right there, Carter, before the play started. I love the motion there to get McElwain the matchup that they needed to get him wide open on that play for the 1st down.
8:45 to go in this 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 42 for the Badgers. Checking the play call at the line, Bryson Roberts, the senior. Roberts hands it off, rumbling near side on the carry, Caden Van Pelt. Still fighting off a couple of Leopards. Van Pelt about a yard shy of the line to gain to the opposing 49. They mark him down there with the forward progress into Leopard territory to bring up 2nd down and short.
How many running backs does Lampasas have? It was Reed and then Stevens, the 1-2 punch in the first half, and now Van Pelt getting in on the action. He couldn't be brought down unless the entire team got there to take him down.
Just a sophomore. He is the future of this Badgers offense. This is a guy that everybody in the community is going to know about sooner than later if they don't already.
7:50, clock running, 3rd quarter. 2nd down in the yard for Lampasas. Handoff, Reed stretching far side. KJ Reed turning the corner. Still on his feet. Look at KJ Reed trucking down inside the 30.
Well, I know we're saying De Leon is a Cam Scattaboo type running back, but I think KJ Reed is too, the way he's shrugging off tacklers. He broke 1, 2, 3. I'm watching the replay here on the YouTube. That's about 4 or 5 tacklers there.
Very gritty runner, tough to bring down, runs with good balance, and stays behind his pads, which allows him to drive defenders backwards when they make contact.
Clock down to 7:10. It's running. 1st and 10 from the 25 of Lorena. Roberts dumps it off, caught KJ Reed, turning the corner. KJ Reed is ushered out of bounds near the 15-yard line.
Carter, you're on fire right now with your play calling a little bit, calling out Cam Scattaboo, and then they throw him the rock like a guy in the NFL, getting him out in some space and letting him cook.
Well, he's just so low to the ground with his center of gravity. He's really hard to bring down and so explosive, too. And he's looking for contact out there, which I love from a running back.
As Reed was ushered out at the 16, it brings up 2nd down and a yard. Clock stopped down to 6:57. Man in motion. Roberts rolling near side. Roberts lofts it for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Lampasas! That's Jaden McElwain, the senior, and the Badgers retake the lead.
Well, we said they needed to get McElwain involved. He had a terrific catch in the first half, and then other than that was kind of quiet. That was a loud start to the second half for McElwain with the 1st down reception and then the touchdown reception.
2-1 comes wide open. He gets great separation, and all the quarterback had to do, Roberts, is drop the ball in the bucket.
Trying to make this a 7-point Badger lead. Once again, they do. 35-28. Lampasas keeps Badger in the Lorena defense. 6:53 to play, 3rd quarter. We're back after this.
Oil change time. Candace. Remember when your boyfriend said he knew a guy who didn't know what he was doing?
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed. For service you can see and experts you can trust.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
So 6:53 to play. Here in this third quarter, it's 35-28. Lampasas leads Lorena in our DCTX Rising Game of the Week. And guys, what a drive it was from the Badgers to retake the lead. From Roberts to McElwain for the touchdown. Kick is up and away from Lampasas. And Lorena will wisely watch this one hop out near the 10. In come the flags.
The momentum has shifted a little bit in this game. Everything was very evenly matched. But Lampasas came out in the second half, and their defense made a statement, forcing them with a 3-and-out, and then the offense drives right down the field. This is a tipping point in this game. This is a time that Lorena has to answer.
Critical drive coming up from Lorena. And I'm looking at Jackson Blanchett to make a play here. He's been making them all night. This is when his team needs him most.
And Blanchett and the Leopards will start. 1st and 10 from the 30 after the illegal kick out of bounds called against Lampasas. Option. Blanchett reversing field. He didn't pitch it. He keeps it himself. Blanchett out of bounds for a gain of 9.
Great closing speed there by safety number 27. He's been moving around the secondary. He's played some cornerback, and now you see him in the defensive secondary at safety. Shows that he can attack the zero angle. It looked like Blanchett had plenty of room to rumble, but he chewed up that space and made sure that he caught him before he could pick up a first down.
Yeah, Coulter Sellers selling out to stop Blanchett on the sideline.
6:43 to go in the quarter. Already almost halfway home here in the third. Handoff De Leon. Stretching forward near the 40. Should be good enough for a first down. Right at the line to gain, they give it to him. First down, Lorena.
Tate Langford is all over the field for this Lampasas defense. Right there, he kind of undercut the blocker and shoestring tackled Brody De Leon. I've been very impressed with the senior linebacker.
And Lampasas has been mixing it up over here at the one cornerback position. They have Edwin Gonzalez, number 81, back in, covering the big wide receiver here, number 9, for Lorena. He's the one who had the big PBU in the end zone in the first half.
Blanchett looking to throw on 1st and 10. Blanchett dancing downfield, juggled, incomplete. In comes the laundry.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit early there, but still a dime from Blanchett. They're going to get a free 15.
Edwin Gonzalez there in coverage.
You got to love a cornerback wearing number 81.
And he's listed as a DB on the roster. You see 81, you think wide receiver most often. But they are trying to find an answer over here at this cornerback position. They're using a multitude of different guys. Of course, Lorena has some big, tall wide receivers to match up with.
They hand it off after the penalty. Nowhere to run for Brody De Leon. Cut down for a loss of 5, back to the midfield stripe.
Elias Ayala in the backfield with a host of Badgers to stop De Leon. That's one of the few times we've seen De Leon get stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Langford was right there as well. This dude has a nose for the football. We've shouted him out multiple times, and justifiably so. He's all over the field.
Down just over 5.5 minutes. 2nd down and 15 here over halfway through the third from midfield for the Leopards of Lorena. Blanchett fires far side. No separation. Pass will skip shy of the intended target.
Looked like a bit of a miscommunication where he expected his wide receiver to break off that route a little sooner because he's throwing it to a spot there. before the wide receiver comes out of his break. But now it sets up a 3rd and 15, where we've seen that this Lorena offense is explosive. They converted a 3rd and 20 in the first half, but not really the spot you want to be in. And on a crucial drive, down 35-28, you don't want to give Lampasas the ball back.
3rd and 15, Lorena. Massive play, massive down from midfield. It's a delayed handoff. They go to DeLeon. His helmet came off, and he's down to the 47. And DeLeon slow to get up. His helmet came off. And we're going to step aside.
Somebody do it like me. Ow!
Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance.
Coming back from the action here, DeLeon walks off under his own power. Big moment in this game. 4th down now as it looks like Lorena is set to punt. Remember, Jackson Blanchett is the punter on this team as well.
With 5:17 to go in the 3rd quarter, we hope everything's all right with Brody DeLeon, who checked out after his helmet came off mid-play. They're going to go for it on 4th and 13. Blanchett intercepted at the 34-yard line. What a pick!
Tate Langford has been all over the field making tackles in the run game, and there he is in the passing game. It looked like he was jumping on the moon like zero gravity out there. The way he could change a light bulb without a ladder, the way he jumped up for that pick.
Great play by Langford there in coverage, but that works out better than turning the ball over on downs for Lorena, and we had some extracurricular stuff after the play. It looks like this call could go against the Badgers. Back them up a little bit here. That's to Lorena's favor.
And I do just want to say Brody DeLeon has been a beast tonight. Been a pleasure to watch from the booth, both in the run game and in the passing game. We hope he's all right. He was able to walk off under his own power, but has just been a warrior out there tonight for these Lorena Leopards.
5:10 to go, 3rd quarter. The interception made by Langford. He leaped through the air. Langford comes down with it cleanly, but a penalty after the INT will back Lampasas up to the 19-yard line. And so ultimately they lose about 15 yards from where they would have taken over with the interception.
Lorena's defense needs to stop here. Do not want Lampasas to extend this game to 2 scores.
1st and 10 from the 19. Handoff Stevens. Stevens has had a couple of good runs, rips off a great one. 1st down to the 31. He needed 10, he got 12.
Lampasas has 3 running backs, and none of them go down on first contact.
Yeah, they're gritty, blue-collar workers in the middle of the trenches, but also have the speed to be able to turn a short one into a long run. And credit to the Lampasas offensive front. They're big, strong, and active.
4:45 to go in the quarter.
Looks like Bottoms is going to blitz from the linebacker spot, or at least he was showing it before the check.
As Roberts checks the play at the line here ahead of a 1st and 10 snap. The handoff stretching far side is Stevens. Stevens with a burst of speed. Still on his feet somehow, and they finally blow that one dead. They say he was forced out near midfield.
Well, we can't really hear the whistles from up here in the press box, and the way he kept sprinting, I thought he might have been gone there. He's got next-level burst watching up here from the booth. And yes, Powers, I do want to shout out this Lampasas offensive line too, because they have 3 sophomores on this line. None of them are returning starters for last year. Part of why people thought Lampasas would be in for a rebuild, and instead they're 5-0 because of these sophomores growing up fast on the varsity stage.
Clock will stop with 4:24 to go in the quarter. 1st and 10 to the Lorena 49 for the Badgers. Handoff Stevens, driven back after a gain of 2 to the 47. Host of Leopards there to meet him up front.
Number 7, Adrian Medina, was right there in the middle of that. That's a dude that you're probably not going to drive backwards or run over.
Yeah, Coach Kevin Johnson said with Medina that every play is 100 miles per hour, whether right or wrong. You know, he plays with the effort of a guy who missed a lot of last season, knows that every play isn't promised for him.
2nd down and 8 for the Badgers. Swung out near side. Stevens could not reel that one in. It's incomplete. And now a little something extra after the play.
And credit to number 3 right there, Johnson, for letting up. He didn't throw his man to the ground. That's why you saw the flag not come out of the referee's back pocket, because he didn't force the issue there.
Yeah, really good restraint there from Johnson, because if he tries to throw him to the ground, that's a free 15 yards, and that could have been a back-breaking penalty for Lorena's defense.
3:43 to go. Inching towards the late stages of quarter 3. 3rd down and 8 from the 47 of Lorena. Lampasas trying to convert. They motion Reed. This is Roberts. Zips it, middle, incomplete.
There was Johnson again in coverage right there, number 3. He's a tall drink of water, and he used every inch he had to get in there and break that pass up.
Textbook PBU from Johnson. He's had a couple of those tonight. It looks like Lampasas is going to hurry up and try to snap it.
They go with a quick hard count. Now a quick kick. No one back deep for Lorena. That one takes a Badger bounce to the 9. Great punt. Getting a little chippy out of frame.
Yeah, and both teams need to keep their composure because it has gotten chippy. You're right, Gavin, on this last drive. These two teams did play last year, so there is some history between these guys. That's starting to come out here now.
And this has been a hard-hitting game with a lot of big plays. Tough play in the trenches. Even though we've had some big home runs, these guys have been battling hard. They've been playing hard. We saw De Leon go out when his helmet popped off earlier, but that's the type of effort both of these squads are giving every play, and you're starting to see some of those emotions boil over.
Lorena will start from their own 9-yard line. 1st and 10. They say from the 10. New drive starts there. Blancett, middle, caught. 1st down to the 25 on a gain of 15.
That looked like number 28, I believe, Hunter Black, the sophomore. There's 2 sophomore tight ends out there for Lorena, Hunter Black and Sloan Blackwell.
And it looks like, is that Black now in the backfield taking over for De Leon?
It looks like it, yes.
They had him split out, I think, on that play with a little bit of a wrinkle as their star player came off the field with this new offensive set.
We go under 3 minutes. 1st and 10 from the 25 after the sizable gain from Black. Man in motion, they fake it to him. Blancett rolling, fading away, fires downfield, swatted, incomplete. More yellow laundry.
And this Lampasas crowd is getting into it. We are right on top of them. They have not been happy with a couple of these calls. That looked like it was number 7, Aaron Everts, who's had a great game tonight. Just got there a little bit early.
And if you're on the Lampasas sidelines or if you're on the Lampasas stands right now, you're thinking that's incidental contact, right? Tripped up, 2 guys coming together. But if you're on the Lorena sidelines, you're thinking, hey, his hands were all over him. He pulled him to the ground. So this one goes in favor of Lorena, and we got a new, fresh set of downs here.
Down to 2:47 in the quarter. 1st and 10 from the 40. Blancett evading pressure. How did he get out of that one? Blancett, now he's going to roll far side. Look at this from Jackson Blancett. Now he throws. Man is open, and it's incomplete after all of that.
Blanchett is a lot of fun to watch. His pocket awareness for a junior is pretty remarkable. Langford came in there scot-free on a corkscrew stunt where he crossed over with another linebacker. There was no one touching him, and Blanchett saw it spun out and then gave some more.
We had a late flag come out on the far sideline here. I'm interested to see what this call was. It looked like there was an opportunity for a blindside block. He didn't do it, so that flag didn't come out then, so I'm interested to see what they call here.
We'll see what we've got with 2:32 to go in the third quarter. Holding against Lorena.
And when your quarterback's running around back there for so long, there's bound to be a holding call. Those offensive linemen just trying to hang on for dear life to not get their quarterback hit.
I was about to make the comment, I like to see the quarterback throw the ball away there as Blanchett was coming out to the Lampasas sideline, but he's so athletic, you hate to say it.
1st and 20 now. They run it and cut down to the 39-yard line. Goes Blanchett, who has done quite a bit of running tonight. That one looked like a designed run, perhaps.
And right now with De Leon out, this game is on Jackson Blanchett's shoulders. He's got to have to do a lot, both in the run game and the pass game.
Picks up 9 of the 10 yards they lost on that penalty, setting up 2nd and 11 with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter here.
Clock is running now on 2nd down and 11 for the Leopards, trailing by 7. Blanchett gets out of it again. The Houdini act from Blanchett, the incompletion at the 45-yard line. No flags.
And Blanchett's helmet came off in the backfield. It'll be interesting to see if he has to go out for a play. And he's going to. They're going to have to bring in the backup quarterback here.
Blanchett couldn't believe it either.
He was looking for a penalty, hands to the face or hit to the head there. He didn't get the call. His helmet comes out, and he has to come out in what is one of the most critical points in this game. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Lorena calls a timeout to get Blanchett back on the field.
1:48 to go in the quarter. Here comes Connor Johnson, the sophomore at quarterback, for a play. It's 3rd and 11 for Connor Johnson now. 3rd down. Johnson, near side, caught! If that's a catch, that's a 1st down, and it is.
How about that? Let the backup quarterback spin it. I thought with you, Powers, they could have called a timeout to get Blanchett back in the game, but showing that they have faith in Johnson, and he hits Miller, the wide receiver who's been their leading receiver on the year.
Yeah, they're saying, ha, 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 Powers, you think we need to call a timeout? We got Johnson. He's going to drop a dime in here, let our wide receiver climb the ladder, and we're just going to move the chains.
And Johnson's had multiple pass breakups on the defensive side of the ball, too, so he's not just a backup quarterback. He's already warm going into that.
We go down to 70 seconds to play in the third. Lorena on the move. Jackson Blanchett back in. Blanchett on 1st down. Taking a shot way downfield. Caught! Walking in! Touchdown, Lorena! There goes Carson Miller. And it's a 1-point game.
And Blanchett took an absolute shot, but he stood tall in the pocket and delivered a money pass, a touchdown strike, showing off his toughness, and this was a score that Lorena desperately needed.
I'll tell you what, Greg Powers, it's Miller time. They tried to hit Carson Miller multiple times tonight, just had not connected, but they do there at the most critical point of the game, looking to tie it up now with 56 seconds left in the third.
Critical extra point. Yeah, critical, Gavin.
Yeah, that one just skips over the crossbar. It's good nonetheless. And this game tied nonetheless, 35-35, 56 seconds to play here in the third. And guys, I got a question for you. What time is it right now?
I don't have my watch with me, Gavin. I'm so engrossed. It's time for the fourth quarter. It's 9:15.
9:15. We got, about 24 hours from now, maybe 25. What's happening, Carter?
Oh, it's going to be the after party in about 25 hours, and I can't wait for it.
Friday Night Lights is the party, right? When you're out at a game on Friday night, that's the party. But the after party is with Greg Tepper and Ashley Pickle, Texas football tonight.
Yeah, no one knows more ball than Greg Tepper and Ashley Pickle. I love listening to Texas football tonight after I come back from a Friday night football game. Wraparound coverage of the entire state, scores from all over. You'll never feel like a smarter fan than after watching that game, that show, and it's a lot of fun too.
Carter, you were on the show last week, tripled up in the booth over there in the studio in Louisville, Texas, at the Dave Campbell's Texas football headquarters. I had a whole lot of fun watching you. What was it like? What was your experience like on the desk?
Oh, it was a blast. I thought it was fun watching the after party, but being a part of the after party,
there you go.
There was nothing like it, and I think I'm going to be going on there tomorrow night too, so come check us all out.
Wow, there you have it. Carter Yates stepping in along with Ashley Pickle tomorrow night. And the man they're calling the youngest man alive, that's Greg Tepper. 56 seconds to play in the third. Another pooch kick fielded at the 29-yard line by Lampasas. Good return for the Badgers, hopping up to the 50-yard line. Somewhere near the 49, they'll make it midfield, and Lampasas starts with favorable field position.
Yeah, great return by Jonathan Bowling there. And Bowling has actually been a defensive standout this year. He plays safety and flies around out there, making a lot of plays, but coming through on special teams for Lampasas, setting them up with great field position.
This is one of those games where you can become a hero in the hallways, right? Hard-hitting game, 35-35. Which player on which team is going to step up and be the guy that walks proudly down the halls and say, hey, I led my team to victory? Fourth quarter, we're about to find out.
48 seconds to play in the third. 1st and 10 from midfield. Keeper around the near side. It's Bryson Roberts. Bryson Roberts with a stiff arm out of bounds near the 32. First down, Lampasas.
Roberts says, why wait till the fourth quarter? Maybe I can score right here in the third.
So smooth on the quarterback read. That's the athleticism from him being a former wide receiver, and that's the kind of dynamic athlete that Lampasas has back there.
Clock will stop down to 43 seconds. And it's a 1st and 10 from the 31 for the Badgers. Motion McElwain. Roberts, handoff, Reed, cut down for a gain of 2.
That was number 25, Kason Conlon, the sophomore, diving in to make that stop. Now the clock is ticking down, 25 seconds in counting, 2nd and 8 for Lampasas, and it looks like they might be okay to let this go to the fourth quarter.
Hold your fours up, guys. 35-35. We got a banger here, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top.
We're back after this. 12 minutes left in regulation. We're tied at 35 in the DCTX Rising Game of the Week with a quarter left. Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance, unwavering dedication to their teams, and a commitment to their communities. To nominate your student athlete, scan the QR code on screen or visit texasfootball.com/athlete of the month. With support from Dick's Sporting Goods, we are proud to honor these young leaders who inspire their peers and represent the best of Texas high school sports.
Yo, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
You fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Well, we find ourselves with 12 minutes to play here in regulation. Start of the fourth. 35-35 here in the DCTX Rising Game of the Week between Lampasas and Lorena. And the Badgers on the move, now facing a 2nd down and 8 from the 29 of the Leopards to start quarter 4. And not much running room here for Reed. maybe even lost a yard.
This Lorena defensive line is starting to bow up, growing up on the big stage here. As we mentioned, they've had 8 sophomores starting at points of the season. And yes, they have been gashed a little bit in non-district play. 55 points given up to Austin Regents, 35 points given up to Malakoff, and 63 points given up to Franklin. And yes, Lampasas has 35 points right now, but they're starting to bow up.
3rd down and a long 8 for Lampasas. Looking to throw is Roberts. Roberts, end zone, incomplete. Just across the goal line, and here comes the laundry.
And that flag came from well behind the play. I'm guessing the referee down here saw some hands maybe wrapped around the wide receiver, but that was an ill-advised throw into double coverage. They're going to catch a break here if it's a DPI.
It feels like the last few deep passes by both teams have resulted in pass interference on the defense.
And that will indeed be a DPI, giving Lampasas a 1st down here.
Here with 11:17 left to play. Play call comes in for Bryson Roberts and the rest of the Badger offense. After a free 15 yards picked up via penalty, 1st and 10, a yard into the red zone. First down, it's Reed. And Reed cut down, even lost a yard. Did he back to the 20?
And number 58, the interior defensive lineman for Lorena, is starting to really play within himself over the last couple of drives, chasing down the ball well, getting off of blocks, and stuffing up the middle.
Yeah, that's James Frosch, the senior, one of the senior leaders on this team. And, how about defensive coordinator Paul DeLeon with the adjustments on the sideline they're making? Their first 2 runs given up were touchdowns by Lampasas. But since then, they've really started to bow up more.
10:40 left, 2nd and 11. Roberts fires, touchdown, KJ Reed.
And we had a whistle right as the ball was snapped. I'm interested to see here. I thought he...
False start. Oh, that is tough for Lampasas. Might have had something to do with the motion, I wonder. Lampasas is doing that a lot with their wide receivers, bringing them in motion and then having it to where they already have a head of steam before they start the route. Maybe the wide receiver turned up field before the ball was snapped, and that could have been the call.
It goes from what was potentially a touchdown, it really was a touchdown, now to 2nd down and 16. Back across the 25. Man in motion is Reed. Roberts pumps. Roberts, far side. Jump ball! Is that caught? That's a catch inside the 5.
What a tremendous show of concentration right there as he was able to corral that pass somehow miraculously as he was falling to the turf.
Trip Stinnett makes the Randy Moss type catch out there on the far end near the end zone. That's just Roberts throwing it up and saying, I trust my guy to bring this ball down.
And what a catch it was, all the way down to the 2. 1st and goal, Lampasas, with 10:10 remaining. Man in motion. Roberts, straight sweep for the quarterback, and he's cut down for a loss. Back to the 5, loss of 3.
Trying to see who that was.
25 there,
25.
Carter.
Yeah, 25, Kaysen Conlon has been all over the field as a sophomore. There's a lot of big-time sophomore playmakers here for this Lorena defense.
Yeah, the future is bright in Lorena, but they're not worried about the future tonight. They want to win this game right now.
They're worried about the next play.
After a loss of 3, it's 2nd and goal from the 5. Under 9.5 to play. Handoff Reed. Look at Reed. Trucking forward. Reed with a couple extra shoves.
No way.
They get into the goal line.
Oh.
And he's down inside the 1.
Tremendous effort there by Reed. What a fun player to watch.
He was like Atlas holding the weight of the globe on his shoulders, charging down in there near the end zone.
We got to get his weight room numbers. This dude must have a massive squat. It looked like he was moving the whole Lorena defensive front right there.
His squat is the entire Lorena defense.
It'll bring up a 3rd and goal here from the 1. Inside the 1 with 8:45 to play, and Lampasas looking to take the lead. Under center, Roberts. Handoff. Touchdown, Lampasas. On the run.
The Foghorns are out here in Lorena tonight.
That was Aaron Everts, the senior defensive back, as he's listed on the roster.
I love the formation there. They had 3 guys in the backfield. You're not knowing who's getting the ball. Sometimes you get frustrated when you get in and around the red zone. You don't know which play to call. Well, Lampasas had one that they loved, and they dialed it up right there to pay dirt.
Yeah, I thought I saw 7. I looked down and said, did they just hand that off to a defensive back? And Everts did get the touchdown. It's 41-35.
Oh, this is interesting to watch now because it was a false start. It's going to push back the PAT. But with the game as back and forth as this, every PAT matters.
And this one just became twice as difficult for Vergara. High snap. Vergara says penalty. Doesn't matter. 42-35 Lampasas.
There's an offsides call on that play, it looks like. PAT extra point will be good. 42-35. There's still 8 minutes left, guys. Anything can happen.
Here's some boots on the ground journalism for you. That foghorn you're hearing, some guy attached horns to a power drill on the Lampasas sideline. That is innovation at its finest.
Dudes rock. 8:35 to play. This game's got everything. 42-35. We got rushing touchdowns. We got passing touchdowns. We got... What was it, Carter?
Just when I thought this game couldn't get crazier, some guy showed up with a modded out power drill.
Oh, man. With 8.5 minutes or 8:35 left to play here, Lorena's going to get the ball back with 8:35 to play. They're down 7, but this is not a position they've been in tonight that they haven't really felt comfortable in. They've pretty much been able to answer back punch for punch, blow for blow all night.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what to compare this game to. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about a bare-knuckled boxing match. Last week, Richmond Randall and Iowa Colony, that was an F1 race. This one just feels different. This one feels like, leopards versus badgers.
And this kick fielded by a leopard at the 10. Not going much of anywhere up to the 13-yard line. Only a return of a couple.
Well, the Badger defense is living on gang tackling. I think if they were out in the wild, there'd have to be multiple Badgers to take down one leopard. So they need to see that here.
And thanks to the comments in the YouTube section, we do have official confirmation that you can buy a horn like that, Carter. It is called an impact train horn.
Oh, where do you get that at? Like the Home Depot?
Got to get one for the office. 8:26 to play. Here's Lorena. First play of the new drive. Blansett reversing his field. Look how shifty Jackson Blansett is. With a good gain of 3 or 4. Something out of nothing for Jackson Blansett.
Does such a terrific job of that. There's been so many times tonight where I think Blansett is going to take a 5 to 10 yard sack, and instead he pulls out a 4-yard gain.
Under 8 to play. 7:55 and trickling down. And a 2nd down and 7 here from the 18 for Lorena, backed up inside their own 20. Blansett checks it down. That's Blackwell off his fingertips. That one a little bit low.
Critical 3rd and long here now. 7:35 and counting left in the 4th quarter. You don't want to have to punt here, but you're so deep in the territory that if you don't get a 1st down, it has to be a punt, I think.
They called that a catch for a gain of a yard, it looks like.
Interesting. I was wondering why the clock was rolling there, and we see a little bit of the Lampasas crowd going a bit irate, saying that ball hit the ground, and I thought it hit the ground as well.
.7:05 to play. 3rd and 6. Blancett evades pressure again. How about this? Across his body. And that's a first down near the 30-yard line.
How about Blancett? He's like Harry Houdini back there, constantly escaping the pressure, but then looking downfield to throw, because a lot of quarterbacks would have just looked to tuck it and run and get maybe, 3 yards, have to punt the ball away. No, he's always so aware of the sticks and what he needs to do to get there.
Tremendous job there by Trey Moore, the receiver, sitting down and giving his QB a good target.
6.5 to play. Here's Blancett to the outside. Out of bounds, 40-yard line. They mark him near the 39.
And with Brody DeLeon out, he has had to take on the bulk of the carries and be the quarterback out there. So this team is on his shoulders right now.
And remember, they've taken quite a few deep shots over here at the bottom of your screen. This is the cornerback matchup that they like for their offense. Something to keep an eye on as the time starts to tick off the clock here, 6 minutes and 32 seconds and counting.
1st and 10, just shy of their own 40 for the Leopards. Blancett. Not able to evade it this time. He's cut down inside the 27-yard line.
Was that him again? Was that Langford?
I think that was Langford. They keep showing him on a linebacker blitz from the second level.
And Blackwell ran a little bit of a delayed route, kind of where I called it out before that play, and he had come wide open, so the pressure there prevents Lorena from scoring a touchdown.
Langford's like the honey badger out there on that defensive side. I know we talked about a lot of comparisons for the offense, but how about Langford just constantly living in the backfield and with the interception earlier?
Blancett lost 11. 2nd and 21 from the 26 now with 5:46 to play. Blancett dumps it, caught, and bowling his way to the 34-yard line. A good catch and run. On the receiving end is Hunter Black, the sophomore tailback. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down at about 15 here with 5:25 to play. Go time for Lorena.
I think this is 2-down territory, personally, because it's been tough to stop Lampasas all night. Now with nearly 5 minutes left, I'm looking to get half of this back on a 3rd and 15 and then go for it on 4th and 5 or 4th and 7.
You have to pick up some yards here on this play that'll make it a manageable situation to go for it on 4th. 4th and 15 is too long for me.
3rd down, 15 yards to go. Blancett downfield.
Wow.
That's a catch inside the 25. Are you kidding me?
The timing there. Blancett put the ball in the air before his man was even open, trusted him, and great hands and concentration there by 14. Was that 14
That's
on the
Brock
catch?
DeLeon. The one DeLeon brother is out after a tremendous game. The other DeLeon brother coming up big.
He says, I got your back.
Brock DeLeon with the catch of the night.
Is it? We've seen some tremendous catches in this game.
Powers, I think it's Brock o'clock right now.
4.5 minutes to play. 1st and 10 from the 23 for Lorena. Blancett, near side, caught, and slung out of bounds there. Goes Miller.
Yeah, Miller and Blancett are starting to connect now in the second half. They were so close in the first half with like 3 routes that could have been almost touchdowns, but just a little bit outside or a little bit inside, and now they're in sync.
4:22 left, 1st and 10. Lorena from the 13 of Lampasas. On 1st down, Blancett fires. There's no one there. Now it's intercepted. That one underthrown. Miscommunication. And it's picked off by the Badgers. There to make the INT, Trent Rogers.
Tremendous timing right there by the defensive back because he had to high point that football. But Blancett put the ball in harm's way for really the very first time, except for a throw near the end of the first half as time was ticking off. Huge change of momentum right here. That was a drive that Lampasas needed to stuff if they wanted to win this game.
I don't think Blanchett ever saw him. It's a hitch and corner concept where the outside receiver's running a hitch to get that outside cornerback to sit down, and then they're running a corner route from the slot wide receiver, and Blanchett thought he had no defender around him. He could loft that ball in there for a touchdown, but number 13 Rogers read that beautifully.
Cut right underneath the corner route with 4:12 to play. Now it's first down and 10 from the 15 for the Badgers. And they will make their way up near the 19-yard line. A gain of 4, as they'll take us down inside of 4 minutes.
7-point lead. Time ticking off the clock. This is when you trust your O-line. This is when you trust your running backs. Lean on these guys and try to run that time off the clock.
3:45 left. Lampasas not in any particular hurry, and why would they be?
Yeah, they're huddling up. They're letting the play clock drain down inside of 10 seconds.
3.5 minutes. It's a run here looking for the first down. Not going to get it up to the 21. It'll bring up third down in about 3 or 4.
Play of the game for Lorena's defense incoming. Did a great job of gang tackling there. I wonder now what Lampasas does. Do they run the ball, keep the clock churning, try to get a first down that way? Or do they put the ball in the air and risk stopping the clock?
10 guys in the box.
3rd and 4, 3 minutes to play. Lorena needs a stop. Bryson Roberts checking it. 3rd and 4, they go Stevens. Stevens.
They didn't get there.
And now with 2:40 to play, if you're Lampasas, it'll be 4th down and about 1 yard, maybe 1.5 yards. What do you do?
I feel like you have to punt here. It's 4th and 1, but if you don't get this, you give Lorena the ball back basically in the red zone.
It's a long one, though. It's almost 2 full yards, or maybe right at 2 yards. It's a very long one.
I believe Roberts is also the quick punter, too, though, so they might keep him out there. Looks like they're going to drain the clock down to near the 2-minute warning, and then they're going to go talk it over.
And they won't take a timeout there wisely, so they'll take the delay of game, back it up to a 4th and about 7. A punting situation either way. They say, why would we burn a timeout? Down to 2:01 left to play. And Carter, I like the coaching there from Lampasas, from Troy Rogers. We were talking about it. There was about a 1 second difference between the play clock and the game clock, down to about 2:01, and he knows he's going to punt. He takes the delay of game, it looked like. They haven't charged him with the timeout yet. They threw the flag.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving it back.
Yeah, they're going to walk it off now. And there you don't burn a timeout. You say, hey, I may need this third one later. What am I going to do? I'm going to take the delay of game, just punt it anyways.
Gavin, that's why he's the Dave Campbell's midseason coach of the year in Class 4A. Big brain decisions like that.
And what a game we've had tonight. Lorena punching up a division, playing a 4A D1 team here. 2 very good squads, 2 very talented teams, and they've been back and forth all night.
To punt it away, Bryson Roberts standing back at his own 8. Roberts' punt's a very short one. Takes a hop from midfield. Actually got a good bounce off it, down to the 38. That turns into a pretty great punt.
Well, it looks low coming off the foot, but it ain't about how you get it there. It's just about where it goes. And inside the 40, you'll take that.
62 yards to go here, under 2 minutes, and this is money time if you're Jackson Blanchett.
1:53 to go. That went from 2:01 to 1:53, so that serves as the 2-minute timeout here.
Power,
change of possession.
Powers, remember when you were talking about who can be the hallway hero? We're about to find out.
Yeah, is it going to be somebody on the Badgers defense, or is it going to be a Leopards player that steps up here to try to tie this game? I don't want to call it out, but if they were to score, it's going to create an interesting situation here. You're punching up a division. This is a non-district game. Would you go for 2 in that situation? Is there's time out here? Just guys talking ball. What do you do, Carter? You're the head coach.
Ooh, I think I'd go for it because it's been tied multiple times, but you've kind of been trailing and having to play catch up almost the whole game. So I would want to end it on your home field, depending on what time you scored.
The poker player in me would want to go for it, but the thing that would hold me back, I think, for making that decision is the absence of number 2 out there. Not having my top dog, De Leon, on the field might make me think about trying to get the extras, but it'd be a tough situation. I'd want to go for it, but I don't know if I could go for it.
It'll be an interesting decision if they have to make it, but first, Blanchett's got to get him down there.
You got to score.
A minute 53 to play. 1st and 10. Lorena from their own 38. And they need the end zone. Blanchett. Near side, low, caught, 49-yard line. 1st down, Miller. Moves the sticks down to a minute 48. And the clock now resumes running down to $1:45. All 3 timeouts left for both squads. A yard shy of midfield. Blanchett dancing. Blanchett is cut down at the line of scrimmage. I don't know how he got back to the 49. He did, but he's brought down, and now there's a flag.
That ball was coming out.
Yep.
That was a great job by Blanchett to be able to re-corral it and make sure that he didn't have a fumble right there. Great awareness.
Again, when he's scrambling in the pocket, he does such a great job of extending the play, but sometimes he's holding onto that ball with one hand, and when you don't see a defender, that ball could come out. So very lucky he didn't lose it. Looks like Langford's going to come off here. He's been excellent tonight. He wants to stay out there, just can't for this play right now. So that'll be something to watch for Lampasas' defenses. How do they operate now without their senior leader in?
Penalty declined. Minute 29 left. Now the clock running down to a minute 25. 2nd and 10 from the 49. Blanchett dumps it. Caught near sideline. Down to the 43 on the receiving end goes Hunter Black. Now we're down to a minute 15. The clock is running.
Got to hurry up now. They still have all 3 timeouts, so no time to panic, but definitely need to pick up the pace.
65 seconds to play. 3rd down and 2 from the 43. Blanchett taking a shot downfield for Miller. That is incomplete inside the 10. Miller had it, and it's stripped away. Now it's 4th down.
4th and 2, game on the line. We're about to find out who the hallway hero is going to be.
With 58 seconds to play, 4th and 2, Lorena from the Lampasas 43-yard line. The DCTX Rising Game of the Week living up to the billing once again.
Timeout here by Lorena. They have 2 timeouts remaining, 58 seconds on the clock, trailing by 7 in this one.
And what's interesting about that now is that they use one of those 3 timeouts left. If they don't pick up the 1st down here, that puts them behind the sticks a little bit per se in terms of getting the ball back if they were to at all. I think they're going to just try to go for it all in this one play, of course.
I already had written that off in my mind when they took possession on this drive. I was a little bit surprised when they didn't call the timeout with 1 minute and 15 seconds as the time was ticking down. I thought they were going to call their timeout then, but they had a play that they liked, and they had the personnel, I feel like, on the field that they wanted to try to exploit. The receiver came open. He just didn't catch the rock on that particular play.
I agree. They save all 3 timeouts. They use one here. And the Leopards all in on this final drive of regulation for Lorena.
The entire Lampasas side of the crowd is on their feet. Cowbells are ringing. Here's the play of the game.
58 seconds. Blanchett, 4th and 2. Blanchett! Did he get there? I don't think he did!
Oh, it's going to be close.
Yeah, this is going to be likely a measurement. The sticks are on the 39-yard line. Did he make the 39-yard line? Sorry, 41-yard line there, Gav.
When they measure this, one side's going to have elation, the other side's going to have devastation.
He needed the 41. He got somewhere about the 41, and we're going to get a measurement here with the game on the line with 49 seconds to play. Here's the measurement. First down, Lorena.
By the nose of the football.
Jackson Blanchett is 6'4". He needed every last inch to get that first down. What toughness from the junior there. And also, Lampasas' defense. I mean, they had so many Badgers on the ball. They wanted to make that play and end that game right there. They almost did it.
Yeah, tremendous effort by the Lampasas defense. I thought he was going to get the first down easily, but they came banging in there to just keep him right at the sticks to make it a measurement type of situation. I guess we shouldn't expect less out of this one.
First and 10 after the run from Blanchett. 49 seconds to play. First and 10 Leopards from the Lampasas 41. Blanchett dancing. He's got all day. Blanchett, Houdini act. He lost the football. Now there's a scramble for it at the 46.
He gets it back.
Lorena's going to call a timeout here. They need to get their bearings. Plus, those receivers are probably exhausted after running around for about 20 seconds on that play.
And with 37 seconds left, Blanchett and company more than fortunate to get that ball back.
Now it's going to be about 2nd and 15 when we come back. This Lampasas defense is starting to get to Blanchett, whereas earlier in the game, he was having a lot of Houdini acts and keeping his eyes down the field, and his receivers were breaking open late, but now this Badgers defense is swarming. And they're doing it without Tate Langford, their senior leader out there right now, which is equally impressive because Langford has been balling tonight.
Yeah, quite honestly, maybe the best offensive player in De Leon. Number 2 is not on the field. And the best defensive player in this game is not on the field here at the end.
37 seconds to play. One timeout for Lorena. They need 46 yards, and they need the end zone. They trail by 7. Second down and 15, Blanchett. Lofts it near side. That's incomplete. And now it's third down and 15.
You just want to get about half of it back here. This is, without a doubt, 4-down territory. 33 seconds left. Looks like Lorena has one timeout left, though, so something to monitor.
Last time we said that, Carter, they hit the big play down the middle of the field. We said just pick up a small chunk, and they went for it all.
33 seconds to go. 3rd and 15 from the 45. Blanchett straight drop. Blanchett taking his shot downfield for Miller. That's incomplete. And here come the flags.
And I got to tell you guys, that was a great job by the wide receiver, slowing down on the underthrown pass to draw the DPI right there. Veteran move.
And that's going to give Lorena a free first down and plenty more. With 25 seconds to play.
What a turn of events. It was about to be 4th and 15 from midfield, and instead it's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Sloan Blackwell offers from UTSA. Syracuse split out wide, number 11, a big target in the passing game.
20 seconds. 1st and 10 from the 31. Blanchett's going to tuck and run. Jackson Blanchett with a flag down is out of bounds near the 20, down to 18 seconds.
And I have to think that's in direction of holding by Lorena.
Yeah, I saw an offensive lineman throw his hands up, which is admitting the guilt, in my opinion.
The universal sign for I definitely held that guy. I just hope you don't see.
It's going to back up Lorena with 18 seconds to play. Again, Leopards 1 timeout left in their back pocket. It'll be a first down and long from the 39-yard line. 1st and 20. 18 ticks remain. And Jackson Blancett trying to be the hero. Blancett evades the pressure. Blancett's going to run. Jackson Blancett cut down to the 31 with 10 seconds to play. 8 seconds. And Lorena's got to call their final timeout. They'll have time for max 2 plays.
Yeah, Blancett couldn't get out of bounds there, but he did a hell of a job to get about 10 yards on that play. He could have been sacked, and the game could have almost been over.
Yeah, and that's something to keep an eye on this next play because you don't have any timeouts, and Blancett likes to run the rock, right? He likes to get the ball in his hands and make something happen. This is a situation where if you don't pick up a first down or you don't score a touchdown, you have to be able to get out of bounds to stop the clock, right? If he goes down in the middle of the field, this game's over.
Yeah, honestly, with 8 seconds left, you don't have time for a scramble drill here from Blancett, and that's what he likes to do so much, unless that scramble is a touchdown.
There's going to be 8 seconds here from the 31-yard line. Lorena out of timeouts. They trail by 7, and they need the end zone.
What a game
and what
on
a game
this
of the
Thursday
week.
night.
Eight seconds to play. From the 31, Lorena. Blancett. Taking his shot for the end zone. Intercepted by Lampasas with 2 seconds to play.
Unbelievable. Coulter Sellers coming away with a huge play. We were talking about the hallway heroes. Sellers, it's your time.
Colton Sellers with the interception to make the Lampasas Badgers 6-0. A team that most thought from outside the walls of their locker room was going to be in a rebuilding year after losing 31 seniors, after losing a star wide receiver moving out to California. But this team came up with the slogan, Bond, beat the odds and never doubt. And they never doubted tonight, and that's why they're walking away with a win.
Jackson Blancett won at the end zone. Coulter Sellers, the hero. And the Lampasas Badgers, at the midway point of the 2025 Texas high school football season, they're 6-0.
Huge win right there for Lampasas. Credit to Lorena for punching up a division and having a great game tonight. The future is bright for the Leopards. But this evening belongs to Lampasas.
Yeah, Coach Troy Rogers told us in the pre-production meeting that they read the energy bus by John Gordon this offseason, talking about having a positive attitude going into the year. Well, I'll tell you what, that bus ride home is going to be a lot of fun to Lampasas.
Yeah, this was a hard-hitting game, a lot of action, a lot of big plays, and there are a lot of guys out there who should be proud of the effort that they gave in this one.
And once again, guys, the DCTX Rising Game of the Week lives up to the billing. Your final score from Leopard Field: Lampasas, the Badgers, 42, Lorena, 35. And Lampasas is off to a 6-0 start, are the Badgers. And that'll do it for us here for the Dave Campbell's Rising Game of the Week. I want to thank our do-it-all production engineer and really everything tonight, Mallory Hartley, along with Carter Yates and Greg Powers, signing off here from Lorena, Texas. I'm Gavin Moritz saying thank you, stay safe, and good night, everyone. 42-35 Lampasas, your final.